This has been Brode, and you're watching Born to be Wild.
Greeting, traveler.
Welcome everybody to another episode of Born to be Wild, a Wild exclusive Hearthstone podcast where we have fun hanging out with friends, talking about the Wild format of Hearthstone and spotlighting members of the Wild community. I'm your host, Nate Wolf. Joining me tonight, as always, two of my favorite people. Hydralisk, how you doing tonight?
Doing good, man. Nice to be here.
Good. Mike Lowe, how are you? It's good to see you.
Yeah. You're now tuned into borntobewildhs.com. Make sure you put that HS if you go to that .com, because you might get a super pill. It won't help you with this game. It'll help you in a different game. But anyway, I'm doing great tonight.
I heard somebody else actually made that mistake already today, but that's fine.
Oh, hopefully get some sleep tonight.
I love it. And who we got with us today?
All right, we have a really special guest tonight. We have the ambassador of Hearthstone's Wild format. This guy wrote for TeamRainstar.com. This guy wrote for WildHS.com. Occasional streamer and Twitch affiliate. He builds fun decks that win games. Tonight, we have Wildcard Hearth. How we doing?
Yo.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
What up?
The man himself. It is very good.
The man himself.
It's very good to have you on. And this fine gentleman right here is responsible for that beautiful shirt that you're wearing, Mike.
Oh, yes. Check it out, everybody.
That's right.
On YouTube. And if you're listening, check out our video on YouTube. I'm wearing this shirt right now. It's the official uniform when I come to work every Friday night. You feel me? Oh, yeah.
Hey, you know what? They turned out really good. So
They really did.
I do have to say I really appreciate your hard work on those. They turned out super awesome, and
Of course, yeah.
really
I've
excited
got two
for that,
different
so.
items in the mail right now. Just waiting on them. I'm stoked.
Two.
That's what happens
Nice.
when
But you
you.
haven't got your stuff yet, huh? The
No, I'm in Canada. It just takes longer.
The customs, yeah.
Mm.
I got you.
Well, and there's some news in the U.S. over here of the United States Post Office doing some funky things. So this isn't a political show. I don't want to go there, but there's a little bit of holdup in the mail, it appears. But
It's all good.
anyways, hey, before we get kicked off too much, I want to say a big giant thank you to our patrons of the show. Thank you so much for supporting us, Adam W. And also Shokunin, thank you so much for being the executive producer of our show. Your support means the world to us, and you help us keep the lights on, keep the website running, and really appreciate it. To anybody who is interested in supporting the show, we do have a Patreon. It has been kind of on the back burner for a while, but something that we'll be working on hopefully in the near future is some
Most definitely.
sprucing it up a little bit, putting some actual rewards there, and trying to do some things that would make it worth your while. But that being said, we don't do the show to make money. We do it because we love the game, we love Wild, and we love hanging out here with our friends and supporting the community. So
Yeah.
that being said, Wildcard, we're super happy to have you on the show. Long overdue.
Long overdue.
I hope. How are you feeling tonight, by the way, Nate? Because when you had me in Into the Wild, I think you had the flu. So I'm hoping that you're feeling much better this time around.
No. I'm good. I am COVID free and
Nice.
feeling well.
Nice.
We bought, this is so funny story. We, early on, like we had these masks, my work gave us a couple, we bought a couple, and we started buying more and more. And my wife says, well, when you leave I've got this bowl next to, like, on this table in the house, and I leave my wallet and my keys and my stuff in it. So when I leave, like, my badge for work, and I grab all this stuff on my way out the door. And so we've got this, like, stack of face masks by it. And she said, hey, when you leave for the day, grab a new one. When you get home, throw the old one in the laundry and I'll wash it. And she tried this new detergent and fabric softener. And so yesterday I'm walking around work all day and I was like, man, you're wearing too much perfume. You're wearing too much perfume. Like, it is like, oh man, you guys are wearing way too much perfume. And then I finally realized it's the fabric softener on the mask. Like, I almost passed out. That's hilarious. It was hilarious. No, I'm not a police officer. It's my work ID. We call it a badge. It's got a key fob, and I have to either hold it up to get into locked doors or swipe it. But it clips onto my belt, and it's got my picture on it and stuff. Yeah. Anyways,
I think you're a police officer. They call you Nathan Tackle, taking down criminals by day, playing Hearthstone by night.
Nathan Tackle.
All right, let's hop into this. So, wildcard, for those who may not know who you are, the very few, can you please introduce yourself, let everybody know who you are, how you got your gamer tag, how you started playing Hearthstone? The floor is yours. Go, my man.
Sure. Thanks, Mike. So I've been playing about 5.5 years now. When the wild switch happened, when they split off, this is my first collectible card game. So
okay.
I was, still knew the concept and everything. I was still wait. So there was that fear of like, oh, are they going to take the cards away? I don't know if you guys remember this, but when they first announced it, we didn't know what was going to happen. But then they announced Wild, and I was like, oh, they get that sigh of relief, and I was like, okay, I'm doing Wild, and I assumed that everybody was going to go to Wild. Like that seemed to make more sense to me. That hey, everybody wants to keep their cards, but it seems like obviously the majority of the people, like 90% or 80%, play Standard. But I've been playing Wild, and I always enjoyed designing decks. I've got this sort of dichotomy to myself where I'm a competitor, but I'm also really creative. And for the longest time, I would create goofy decks, or not necessarily goofy decks, but just off meta decks, take them to rank 5 or whatever level of that time was. And lately, because of COVID and having more free time at home, I've started taking these decks higher and higher and higher. I've been playing more meta decks lately. I've hit Legend, I was trying to hit today and came up short before the show. I was actually trying to hit with my Reno Cthulhu deck that we're gonna feature today. But that's sort of my dream, is to put that together, because like I said, I've hit Legend 3 months in a row that I've actually had time to play, but with meta decks. So I want to sort of combine that and bring my creativity and hit Legend with one of my own decks. But yeah, I hit my final boss 3 times today and finally lost 4 in a row, and was like, nope, it's not happening today. But it's still a long month, so
yeah, you got a lot of time still. But I'll tell you, like Ridiculous Hat told me, hey, if you lose 2 in a row, you lose 3 in a row, like take a 5-minute break. I don't know. For me personally, like I get tilted and get angry and stuff, but I wish you well. I love the idea of hitting Legend with your own deck. I think that's a super cool idea. I've done it once myself. It was with it was still meta, I suppose. I think it was Odd Demon Hunter, but I didn't like the lists that everyone else was running. I was like, I don't like the pirate package. I don't like those cards. Screw you guys. I'm putting in my own cards. And so I put in some, I must have pulled out 10 cards or so and put in a bunch of kind of weird ones, but they worked for the meta that I was seeing. And it was like 2:00 in the morning, and I had to work the next day, and I kept telling myself, I'll quit as soon as I lose a game. I'm going to go to bed. I'll quit as soon as I lose a game. And then I just kept winning and winning and winning. And I was like, bam. And
that's when it happens.
That's when it happens.
That's
so how did you come up with the name Wildcard?
It's not very exciting. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's, I was like, well, I'm going to, and I had a different gamer tag before the split, but I think when I decided to become part of the Twitter community, and just part of the, not necessarily community, just the Wild community as a whole, that's when I sort of created the moniker, I guess, if you will, of Wildcard. And I like it. I actually use it all over.
Do we get to know what it was before?
Yeah.
It was it was fine. It was Diseased Quill. It was the name my Xbox one gave me when I signed it for Xbox.
Oh, there you go.
Just a random name.
Just a random name, and I was like, I'll just use random name for a while. But no, this is fine.
So we have something in the Discord. We stole it from Tier 5, but they stopped doing their show, and so I didn't feel too bad stealing it. But we've got a channel full of like funny usernames, and so we always see it. Like we see Fart Museum and Demon Dong and stuff like that. It's just
Bum hugger.
Well, that's the thing too about like my name is that, and I don't know if you saw this like last month. I think there was this like surge of like I called them imposter wildcards, and I actually played against one like a day or two after I posted something about it, because there's obviously it's a common name. I mean, like that's why I'm Wildcard Hearthstone or Wildcard Hearth on everything, because Wildcard's been used 10 years earlier. But yeah, like so I ran into this guy and I was just like, I played him and he was another wild card. I was like, hey, what's going on? And you're the imposter wild card. I was like, just kind of ribbing him about it.
Like, give me my name back.
Yeah, I was like, and he's like, well, how long you been playing? I'm like, so this long. And it was just like, I don't know, it was just silly, but we had a nice little chat. He was actually nicer than I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be more fun, confrontational, but it wasn't. So
that's funny.
But he ended up unfriending me later. So I don't know.
Hey, quick sidestep. On funny usernames. I love names like, I'm going somewhere with this. Joe Pesci, Trash Writer, Pooh Breath. Now they're funny, but what's cool about this community and our Discord specifically, a lot of us actually queue into the people after we've seen the name in the chat.
Yeah, it happens all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
It's such a small community. That's the thing. It's
Yeah, it's awesome.
Poo breath. That's gotta be my favorite.
Yeah.
I can't. It's so funny because that guy Fart Museum like has showed up in the Discord channel like 3 times.
Yep. Oh my god.
We're a bunch of adult children here, aren't we?
Yes.
Hey, my name's not Fart Museum. I'm not the child.
Not yet.
No, we're just laughing. We're just laughing at it.
If you want to change your battle tag to that, I'll pay for it. Oh god.
Oh, yeah, that's too funny. Oh man. Wild card. What is your favorite wild card in Hearthstone?
Oh, easy. Sylvanas. I like taking people's big minions. I love it.
Nice.
Yep.
Do you still try to slot Sylvanas in whenever you can?
If I can, but I feel like she's a dying card in the meta right now, which is sad. And it used to be Dreadsteed, and obviously Dreadsteed died a horrible death. But yeah, it's Sylvanas. But yeah, Sylvanas it's too fast of a meta, and there aren't the big priest meta's gone, so she doesn't really have much of a use anymore, honestly.
Was it Defile that Dreadsteed died for?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
That would have been nasty. That would have been disgusting.
Yeah, no. Sylvanas is a good one. I was so excited when they made her a hero portrait for Hunter. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, wild card.
Cool,
I got your favorite wild card. What's the one wild card you hate playing against?
Open the Waygate.
Oh,
Hashtag nerf quest mage. Please.
Yeah. So
Again?
I saw something on Twitter this week. So one of the new cards from this set, what is it called, Library Elic or one of those, that says that it remembers any spell that's been played this game, and the death rattle is replay the spells.
Yes, sir.
So if you put that in Quest Mage, and then it dies, it will replay the quest completion. Educated Elic, it is.
Yes.
It'll replay the Open the Waygate quest completion. So
But
there
you're
you
dead
go.
by the time it comes back up again, right? I mean,
It's a, you know what? It's a meme. But I don't know. Like I mean, I don't know. I haven't tested it, but I saw a video. It was from the China server.
Hey, I saw it live. I saw Clark Hellscream doing it.
Oh god.
It's actually on his Twitter right now, and he's going to be a guest in the future. So I can't wait to discuss this.
It's a meme for now. You never know.
yeah.
So like I remember when Barnes and Yasharaj first came out, and in standard, and nobody was really playing it, and somebody did it to me for the first time, and I posted it on Hearthstone, like a screenshot. I'm like, what just happened? And yeah, well, Big Priest came out, so
Yeah.
and that was in Hunter. They were playing it in Hunter when that first happened. So
Oh, it sounds like it shuffles it into your deck. It doesn't replay it. It shuffles it into your deck, but still.
It's an infinite loop because you get the extra turn and you just play it the next turn. You just keep playing it in Penflinger and it's game over. Clark Hellscream is a genius.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. And well, so Wildcard, I have to give you props because I don't remember when we were all talking about this, but I think some people are really good like deck pilots. Some people are really good deck builders. Some people are kind of combination. Some people just not good at anything. But I think like for me personally, like I wish, you know, I consider myself somewhat intelligent. I cannot build a deck to save my life. I can pilot them quite well. But I just am not a skilled deck builder. And then to see you hitting like Diamond 1 with Reno Cthulhu, Demon Hunter, like what is that? I don't know. I think congrats on like it's a good skill. And there's not many people that can do that. So I think that's really cool.
It's a bit of a
combo.
Brian.
I mean, I didn't take. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Hydra.
Oh, I was going to say it's a bit of a Brian Kibler vibe, where the guy can take, he can build a deck that nobody else can play to that type of level, and actually have a positive win rate with it. When you give it to anybody else,
You're like, what is this trash, right?
what is this trash? I don't get it. How is Kibler hitting Legend with this garbage? So you're the wild Kibler.
Wow!
That's yeah. Thank you
been
very
anointed.
much. That's not true.
I think that you
well,
just
first of all, I didn't take that deck the whole way because I took a Pirate Bomb Warrior to 5, and then I played a little bit of Big Shaman from 5 to 4, and then I started messing around from like 4 or 3, right, somewhere in there up to 1. So it wasn't the whole month, but you know, I'm gonna try to keep it on. But yeah,
But it's only half the month.
But getting back to what you're saying before, Nate, I think I got time. But I think you're fine, Nate. I think even like before with your example about the Demon Hunter, where you said that you made those substitutions, they're smart substitutions. I mean, when you're designing a deck, you always got to keep in mind, you can have fun decks and you can have fun with things, but you still have to make it competitive. You can't get too greedy. You can't. You got to, tech appropriately, things like that. You've got to know the meta, and you've got to play to that. You can't. Unfortunately, that's just the way the game is. It would be great if you could I could make any stupid deck I want and throw it out there and play it, and go to Legend. But that's just not a reality. You have to make smart decisions when you tech out like that. And I think you did that. I mean,
yeah. I mean, I guess that's a good point. I tried deck building on day 1 with the Skull and Mance cards and kind of bombed. But then I don't know. I'm in Legend right now. I DK a little bit more every day, but I've been experimenting with a new build of Big Shaman, and I haven't been loving all the minions that were run in different versions of it. Some people were running Lich King, and I didn't really like that. I threw Ragnaros in there, and it's been super fun. It doesn't work for everybody, but I'm like 11-2 with it, or 11-3 with it, or something like that.
Wow!
And so like,
it's a good deck.
Ragnaros on turn 3 is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, it's we'll
Have you tried the new minion with that makes a 7 drop after it dies?
The Colossus, yes.
No, not the Colossus. I forget what it's one of the new Skullomance cards, and it's an 8 drop, but it drops to 7 drop when it dies.
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean.
Because that's actually, I think, pretty decent in Big Shaman.
Interesting.
Oh, the proto Drake.
Yeah, I think that's what it's called. Yeah.
Oh no, I haven't tried it yet. I opened a gold one though. I should try it out.
There you go.
Yeah. Anyway,
you're way towards Golden Big Shaman.
Oh man. Okay. So I've got another question for you then, because I know that your gold habit is worse than my gold habit.
Uh-oh.
I don't know.
Oh, no.
I don't know about Hydra. I think because you got more gold than me, but how like every time I see you playing decks online, they're all gold. How do you do this without spending like $1 billion?
Right.
Or are you just
it's not like
independently
I
wealthy?
haven't spent money on the game, yeah. But what you do is, well, first of all, you never dust anything except for like the non-gold stuff. And two, it's like a lot of times, like it's what I call Hall of Faming a deck. Certain decks that I really like that I've had for a while, like a couple of the decks I'm featuring today, they're older decks, but every time an expansion comes out, I refine them. But I add, like I'll craft golden cards for them. Dewin does the same thing with like a lot of his hunter stuff, like you're just focusing on that deck. You're not just goldening everything you can, but you're focusing on just the things that you like. So that when you play your favorite deck or your deck that you've had since 2016 that you've just refined 3 or 4 times over, you can show off that golden coin. Boop, drop it down there.
I will say, one thing that pops up every once in a while when we talk about trying to get more people to play Wild is I think there's this misconception that Wild is like, oh, it's so expensive to get into. Like, oh, I need all these cards, and you really don't. And I think what made me think of that, and I say this, I swear I say it every so often, but especially when we're doing set reviews, is like there's a lot of established decks that really aren't changing. When a new set comes out, maybe we put in like 3 or 4 new cards, but the bulk of the deck stays the same. And so
yeah, like if you're playing Reno Lock or Reno Priest, Reno Mage, you're gonna craft all those cards gold, and they're gonna be around forever, right?
Well, yeah, and I think even from this new set, what do we tech in, like 2 or 3 cards in most decks? I mean,
Yep.
So, anyways, I guess, and I remember Wildcard, like you were saying, when Wild first was announced, like, oh, what is this? Like, I'm not getting rid of all these cards. These are my favorite cards. Like
I put money into this game. Come on,
right?
Taking my money.
I can't play Mad Scientist anymore. Like, not gonna happen. Yeah. So, but I think we're the true OGs, right? We're playing Wild since before it was called Wild.
Yep.
That's right.
So, anyways, yeah. So so normally we ask people on the show to bring a deck to talk about, maybe bring 2 decks to talk about, and Wildcard hits us up and says, "Okay, I have 10 decks for you guys."
It was 8. Fair, it was 8. Well, I mean, here's the thing. It's like the expansion launches, and I'm like, oh crap, I've got to come up with decks for next week. It's no pressure, right? I mean, and stuff that's decent, stuff that actually has a plus 50% win rate. But yeah, I mean, like I had a lot of things on the back of my mind. There's a lot of stuff that I make that doesn't ever, it hits the cutting room floor essentially. But yeah, I do have an addiction to needing more deck slots for sure. But yeah, we narrowed it down to what, 4 today, or depending on time, right?
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay.
It's been entertaining. Our shows keep getting longer and longer, and thanks for listening, everybody. Wait, we're having.
Are we going 10 hours tonight?
I don't know that we'll ever beat 10 and a half. That was something else.
10 and a half. Yeah.
I don't know how we did it, to be honest. I did not actually listen to the last episode because I didn't want to hear what I sounded like. Like the fourth part.
Oh man!
I was like, by that point it was like 4 a.m. I think
it was. I think it was, and you had I had taken that day off work. You had worked all day. Like worked all day long, had a crappy day at work, and then come home to do a 10.5-hour podcast. And I felt bad for you because you were like deliriously tired. And there was like Sheep and I would be talking about a card and like kind of get through it. Hey, what do you think? And you're like, what's the card again? Oh yeah, that's but like it's 4 a.m, right? It was
That's
good.
so funny.
Well-
And then we had a whole thing with the in-laws the next day too. Like went to their house
Oh my
and
god.
and hung out there all day. And I'm like,
Uh,
then I think I slept the entirety of Sunday. So
yo, next time we do that, I'm definitely preparing sleep-wise. This might sound dumb, but like I really wasn't even tired until I looked to my left and I saw the sun outside and it just hit me. And I texted Nate and I'm like, hey, listen, hey dog, like the sun came up and I think I'm tapped out. I gotta go. Like it was fun though. I'm not complaining whatsoever. That was awesome.
yeah,
Hey,
that was great.
I will tell you what, we clearly broke all whatever records there were. We broke.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. And if anybody wants to try to match it, we'll see you in December. What's up?
So how about if you can make one of your hosts fall asleep, then I'll like buy them some merch. Whoever falls asleep during the next review, I'll buy them some merch. How's that sound? I'll make
That
it
would
worth
be
your while. Yeah, if you fall asleep on stream, you'll win the booby prize. I guess that's what they call it, right?
Deal.
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. Hey, sweet plug, by the way. Hey, we have awesome merch. Mike is wearing some. I ordered more in the mail. So hopefully soon we'll have stuff, but they turned out really, really good. I love the printing on those. Excuse me. So if you guys are interested, borntobewildhs.com. Click on the merch, and we've got shirts and hoodies and all kinds of stuff, coffee mugs and posters and you name it. So if you're so inclined, we have stuff. So yeah.
Right on. So
anyways, yep.
I was gonna say, how is everybody doing? How was your week? This has been crazy. We got a new expansion. Everybody's playing different things. We're clearly seeing, different stuff on the ladder. How's it been for you, Nate?
It's been good. This has been kind of like, it's been a long, crazy week for us at work. And I think what we're starting to experience is what COVID has lasted now. What are we, like 5 months in or something like that? And
Yeah.
I had to cancel at least one personal vacation and at least 2 or 3 work trips. And same thing with a couple of my coworkers, and like we're all so burnt out that everybody's a little bit tense. But I overall it's been a pretty good week. I enjoy Fridays the most. I don't have anything profound that happened, but I'm sitting in Legend. I've been watching a lot of streams at night, which has been really fun. So I've been I've been watching a lot of Keith Numbers. I've been watching some Concerned Mom. Dewin had his first stream this Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Our buddy Blue Train has been streaming with 3E and Nura, and that's been awesome. And it's just
I gotta catch that.
Yeah, it's been
Blue Train? Okay.
Yeah, and he doesn't normally stream very often, but he has been more recently, and so it's been a fun. And I was recently introduced to Mirak, and that's been really cool. Well, and I got to show my son how he controls the mouse with his eyes, and my son is just absolutely fascinated. And it's been a cool week to kind of hang out. I am not trying to make any sort of top 100, top 200 finish. Like I'm kind of just playing around. I have been tweaking my own version of Big Shaman and have a pretty good win rate with it. But aside from that, I thought
you said you weren't a deck builder.
I have maybe a deck modifier, right? But no, it's been good. It's been a lot of fun, and I've got 2 screens, so typically I'll have like someone stream on the other side, and then a game or something on the other screen. GOG had all of the Darksiders games on like super clearance, so I've been playing the first Darksiders game that I paid $5 for. And so that's been a blast. Anyways, yeah, that's me. I'm doing well though. How about you guys? Mike, how are you doing?
Oh, where should I begin? This has been a fantastic week. First of all, let me give a shout out to Nate Wolf for inviting me to this podcast. It's been 4 weeks, maybe 5. And ever since, every week, I just get some kind of blessing. Something good comes my way. So,
Man, I saw you got that
specific
giant
good.
host. Yeah. It was a
Yeah. Yeah. So for this week, I started a new stream schedule because I'm trying to go with the flow in life as I get older. Not to pull that card, but here I am, the youngest guy talking about getting older. So get up early in the morning. The dog likes to go out. So I was like, after we bring the dog out, I should just hop on stream. Let me try this. I get on in the mornings around 7:30, 8, and it's about like 5-6 hours, and I get a pretty decent crowd for the small streamer I am. So KP's here. Shout out to Cream Puff. He'll come in, drop a raid. It's pretty dope. Shout out to Draco Cat, be dropping raids. And then the big raid this week, not that Cream Puff or Draco Cat are small, but I got raided by Goku HS. You guys know Goku, right?
That's right.
Of course, yeah, no, absolutely. It's definitely a legend in his own right. But it was a huge raid. God, what is it? 175 people or something like that?
173 people. Insane.
Wow. Attaboy, that's awesome.
It was awesome. So full disclosure, because for those who listen to the podcast will get this exclusive backstory. When he raided me, I saw it and I heard the notification. I glance over and I see the gigantic number. So, I don't for optics, I don't react with my face, you know what I'm saying? So I just go back to the game, do my turn, act all cool, you know what I'm saying? Get lethal. And then I'm like, yo, what up, Goku? Thanks for the raid, you know what I'm saying? And then then I go fanboy mode. But in the moment, I didn't want to freak out. Because I've seen streams where, people just chilling like 5-10 people, and then someone comes with a gigantic raid, so I don't want to have that happen. But it was pretty cool, because I've talked to Goku. I'm in his Discord. We follow each other on Twitter. That was a cool day too when he followed me on Twitter. This was like months ago, but gave me that raid, and then I picked up. I was playing his priest deck, the Raza priest. It's pretty insane. I started playing Corbett's Kingsbane, and then I started playing some big shaman. As much as I wanted to keep playing Mech Paladin, I'm trying to take a step back, play different things, because also THL is coming in like 10 days, so I got to get off my Paladin kick and start playing other stuff. Yeah. So yeah, we took that big shaman. It's kind of a mix of what Nate has and a mix of, I think, what Cream Puff has. And I'm at rank 1. I'm at rank 1. Sorry, I'm at Diamond 1, 2 stars. So just 2 more games. We're in Legend. So I'm gonna grab that after the podcast tonight. But it's been a fantastic week. Got rated by Goku. We're at Diamond 1, right on the fence of Legend. So your boy's chilling.
I have to say, Diamond community or Wild community is the best community. I know Slizzle's been off doing his doctorate degree for a while, and he's got the month off. He's been streaming. We had a good chat last night for a while, and it's just really, I don't know, it's some great friends. Like, I think I've made more friends in this community than I have like anywhere else. So just it's very, very positive, super cool.
It really is positive and cool. I really appreciate whoever comes to raid, chill, chat, lurk. All of it is great. I'm having fun with it. So can't wait to get back to streaming. So who do we got next? I'm sorry. Is it Hydra?
Yeah. No, well, Wildcard, how's your week, dude?
Oh, I'm sorry, Wildcard. My bad.
No, you're good.
I played Skip. This isn't Uno. I'm sorry, my bad. First off, Wildcard.
No, it's all good. Yeah, no, it's just I mean, I pretty much it. I mean, just trying to make decks for the show and just grinding that and playing ladder. Nothing too crazy. I've been streaming. When was the last time I streamed? I'll probably do. Maybe I'll do one this weekend. But yeah, it's just been chill. Just trying to prep for the show and get all these decks sorted out. Nothing too crazy.
Chill week is always a good week, to be honest, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for real. Sometimes no news is good news.
Yeah,
True.
agreed. For me, ever since we had Goliath on, I got all nostalgic and I decided to search for my Warcraft 3 discs.
Oh, I saw you playing in Discord. I saw it under your name.
Yeah, and so I found them.
Oh, look at them right there. Nice.
Unfortunately, I only could find the CD key for the Frozen Throne.
Oh no.
So I didn't have the
Oh.
CD key for Reign of Chaos. So I'm like, I guess I'll buy the game again.
By the way, I started playing it this past week or last weekend, and I don't have any complaints so far. I mean, I'm only, maybe an hour, 2 hours into it, but like it looks good. It's really fun. I don't know what everyone's complaining about. Granted, I'm playing campaign mode. I don't really care about the multiplayer, but
Yeah, I think the problem mostly was with multiplayer stuff is what everyone was complaining about. People were dropping out of games and all that sort of stuff. But I've been having a blast playing through the campaign. It's kind of funny because when I play Paladin in Hearthstone, I really like to always be Arthas.
Mhm.
And then so I'm playing as Arthas in Warcraft 3. I'm like, this guy's such a little brat. like he's like, I'm better. I'm not listening to you, Uther. I'm gonna go,
Oh.
Be a champion and slay everybody. And then he just falls into a trap. And hey, that's how we get the Lich King. So it's pretty cool. But go ahead, Nate.
Oh, I was just gonna say. By the way, for those of you who missed it last week, we did our first ever lore episode with Goliath, covering the lore behind Kel'Thuzad and Skullman's Academy and a bunch of the legendaries, and we got such an overwhelmingly positive response from it, from all different angles, that we're definitely, not only will we be doing it again next set, but in about 6 weeks, we're gonna go back and do another one and cover the primes and the class legends from Ashes of Outland.
Yo. Woo. Okay.
So,
Sounds so good.
It'll be fun. I as I say, the people want more. Let's give it to them. I had a blast. I think everybody else had a blast. So let's do this.
Yeah, that was cool. I my favorite story, I even tweeted about it, was learning about the Baroff family, about how Kel'Thuzad basically tricked them, and they're like, yeah, you can have the manor, and then boom, he just played them straight up. That's a cool story.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna start killing people in it and sewing together monsters in your house. Sorry, sorry, not sorry.
Yeah. No, it's pretty good. So that got me stoked, and I've been all into Warcraft 3 lately. Other than that, Hearthstone wise, I was looking at shout out to Labori Sangre with his guide that he wrote to Big Warrior, and so I decided to give that a try, and that's a lot of fun.
That deck is crazy fun.
Yeah, he had 3 different versions there. I only played the first one. With Colossus of the Moon, I think was the biggest difference that was in there. But no, it was really fun. I think I went I only played 6 games. I think I won 4 of them. And so I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I recommend play the one that he wrote about, because he had a couple other deck lists that he got from one of them he got from us, and he got a couple from different places. But I recommend the one that he used to hit legend with. But it looks so much fun. There's a couple people playing different builds of it right now. I know we've got them posted in our Discord. Silent Nick has got his own version that he's running. I got one from somebody I played on ladder called Sinister Me that is in our Discord right now. But Labore Sangre wrote a really good article. It is up on Reddit and it's up somewhere else. I'll post it in the show notes if anyone wants to read it. It's very good, and I think it's also he had a big win with that. I know he was very pleasantly surprised at the positive feedback. I swear to you guys, anytime you post something on Reddit and it gets a bunch of upvotes and no downvotes, it's like, what am I living in Bizarro land or what? Because everybody on Reddit hates everything, right?
Yeah.
So
shout out to Reddit.
I highly recommend the article. We'll post it in the show notes, and if we take a break later, I'll see if I can track it down. But we'll get it. We'll get it for you guys.
I'll track it down. I got you.
Yeah. So that was basically my week. Let's move into the news, you guys. We got a bunch of stuff. The most recent thing is we just had a hot fix that they put right into the game right away, and that is, yeah, buddy, it is discover, and cards that generate other cards cannot discover or generate themselves anymore.
Yes.
So basically, if you think of the Dragon Queen Alexstrasza nerf, where she could no longer make herself, this applies to all other cards that do that, either discover or generate another one. So like this brought me back to a time where I would say be playing mage and I was like, I'm dead. There's an ice block in my deck. I'm gonna glyph. Crap, didn't get it. Glyph. Crap, didn't get it. Glyph. Still didn't get it. Glyph. Okay, got it.
Yep.
Right? And then the other person's like, wow.
I feel fortunate to have witnessed this.
God, evocation. You know what though? If you've ever lost it, like you watch your opponent evocation into evocation, that feels super bad. So this is good. This is good for all of us, and
Yep.
I got no complaints about this one. Early on, I mean, it generates infinite value, and I think the real complaint here is, okay, I want to try to be as good at this game as I can possibly be, and try to learn the decks. Like, not only do I learn my deck, but I want to learn the decks that my opponents play. But how can you plan around cards that somebody did not put into their deck on purpose, right? It's I mean, or you just plan on 4 ice blocks in every mage deck, right? I mean,
yeah, right. This also is technically nerf number 2 to this when it comes to discover, correct? Because originally, would it not favor your own class originally?
Yep.
Yeah.
So this would be nerf number
call.
2 to that.
Well, and so here's the thing. I think with this, it's infinite value, right? Where it feels awesome when you get to do it. Like when I get to like I play glyph into glyph into glyph into ice block, like that makes me so happy. But if my opponent does that to me, I'm about to launch my computer out the window.
Yeah.
And so it's a double-edged sword, right? So
I've had Flame Waker on the board and cycled through glyphs with 2 Sorcerer's Apprentice, and like,
oh my gosh, like,
so that's the only thing I'm gonna miss. Like, I love doing that. 2 sorcerers, Flame Waker, and just cycle through glyphs. That's the only thing I'll miss. So great change. Thank you for the healthy balance, Hearthstone. We appreciate it.
I do think I at the end of the day, I do think that it's better for the game overall.
it has to be.
So, yep.
It has to be. So next, we had a survey that was given out to only random people in the Hearthstone community, and I didn't get one, but I believe Nate Wolf, you got wildcard. You get one?
No, I didn't get one.
Mike, you didn't get one?
I just got a laptop, so they're not sending me nothing.
That's why. That's clearly why. So the Godfather, Nate Wolf, he got one.
I don't know.
So,
I know. We're getting gifted card packs. Now we're getting surveys. I don't know. So I got the survey. It says it was random, and the funny thing is, it's like, hey, are you interested in taking a survey about Hearthstone? Click here. And then the first page is like, hey, this is all supposed to be confidential. Please don't share it with anybody. And within half an hour, like, it's up on Hearthstone. It's up on Out of Cards. The entire thing has been screenshotted. And so I guess it's fair game to talk about, right? Essentially, and I did get it, and I took it, and I don't know why I got it. I assume that it's just random. But anyways, a lot of it had to do with in-game cosmetics. I know everybody's talking about this battle pass, and that is a good chunk of it, but there was a lot of some interesting things like, hey, would you be interested in alternate card art for the coin? Yeah. Would you be interested in alternate card art for, your cards? Yeah. Would you be interested in alternate legendary card art? Yeah. Like, that's pretty cool. I mean, I think a lot of people who play Hearthstone came from, have at least touched Magic a little bit. And so we're very familiar with the idea, or Pokemon, or a lot of these games will have a, that have been around after 10 years or whatever. Like, they'll reprint a card. It does the exact same thing, but different card art. For me personally, I think that's kind of cool. Anyways, so that was part of it, and then they got into the idea of this battle pass, and they didn't call it a battle pass, but they called it kind of a revamping of the reward system, if you will. And so going away from daily quests and getting into like experience, and rather than it being on a monthly basis, it's on a 4-month, like a quarterly basis. And you rack up all these experience points, and as you hit these kind of like check marks along the way, you get certain things. Like you would get gold, you would get cards, you would get packs, you would get whatever. And then there was 2 tracks. There was like a free track, and then there was a paid track. That it sounded like it was going to be like $30 for this 4-month pass. And I have this graphic that I will put up on the screen that everybody has got now, so I don't feel too bad about sharing it. But let me see where I put it. There we go. Where I think everybody really freaked out about this is that between expansion, like between now and the next set coming out, typically if I just do my daily quests, like you could save up somewhere 5,000 to 10,000 gold, which will buy you, 100 packs when the new set comes out. And so the idea of something like this, you really lose out on the quest rewards, where you would potentially be earning a lot less gold, which really hurts the free-to-play people. And so, I mean, we could get into this a little bit more. So they did a Reddit AMA earlier this week. I think it was Tuesday. And a lot of the questions kind of surrounded this whole battle pass thing. And for the life of me, can't think of his name right now, but the current...
Ben Lee.
Is it Ben Lee? Yeah. Was saying that, no, we don't want to... this would be, he had talked about his own personal experience where he right now between expansions gets around 5,000 gold without really, kind of just checking in and doing his normal stuff. And said that they weren't trying to take anything away. They were trying to add stuff. And so we'll see. And I think the other thing to note is that, like, this is a survey about something that they will do in, like phase 3 of this approach, and they're trying to kind of test the waters or gauge interest. And so none of this stuff is guaranteed.
No.
And I will say,
does this,
I
was going to say, does this mean that the, the 10 gold per 3 wins is gone?
Well, and I think the answer is no.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it stays.
And a lot of this stuff, I mean, we do this at my work all the time, is if we're thinking about doing something new that's going to affect lots of people, I'll write it up, I'll talk to different people, get some input, pass it around, see what people think about it, make some revisions, pass it around again. And so this is I don't know what you want to call it. Like, of course, they will be tweaking their reward system. Like, yes, that is going to happen. I'm sure that's going to happen. But what is it, like, the final draft going to look like? Who knows? Like, this is the first version that we're seeing of it. And so I think to all the people who are really freaking out, I would just say this is something that they're thinking about, and I personally wouldn't worry about it too much. I do think that Ben really clarified some things, though, because the idea of, hey, if we get extra stuff, that's cool, but if you're taking stuff away, we don't like that. And I think that was good feedback. And I liked his response. I mean, it was a very like kind of PR response, but I think it was good, and answered a lot of the questions. I don't know.
Yeah.
I really like the idea of upgradable hero skins. My concern was when I took this survey was that I for whatever reason, and I could be totally wrong, I got the impression that it was like, oh, you unlock this skin during this 4-month period. And I was like, I don't want to unlock something and then lose it. If I get to unlock it and then keep it, that's cool.
I don't think that's what that meant. I feel like that's kind of like a Fortnite thing where you unlock something in a certain season, and it was from that season, and that's like you unlock it at that time, and that's the only time you can unlock it, and then you just keep it forever.
Like card backs?
Like hardbacks.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, we'll see. It was interesting. And again, most of the questions that I recall had to do with would you like alternate art for this? Would you like alternate art for that? Would you like a special kind of like title next to your name? How much would you pay for this? Does this seem like a reasonable price? How much would you pay for it in US dollars? How much would you pay for it in gold? And so I think they're exploring a lot of different ideas. The idea that you could potentially buy something like this with in-game gold as opposed to like cash money seems kind of cool to me.
Yeah.
I just like that they're doing something new. And what Ben was saying was that like, hey, we want this game to be around for a long time. I really appreciate that because I've pumped a lot of money into it and a lot of time. And so the idea that they're trying to keep it fresh seems good to me.
Yeah, for sure. So alongside this whole survey thing, like there was the whole AMA, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was a bunch of questions asked by us, the public, instead of them asking us questions, which was great. And one of the things that came up that was really, really cool was they are talking about looking at the entire basic and classic sets for a revamp. Similar to how they looked at Priest and how that they revamped their basic and classic set, and they were quite vague on it, but they were talking about looking at the entirety of basic and classic.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. I think the idea that you have an evergreen set, I don't know. Then they have to do like there's a lot of power creep when new sets come out, or you know, we've seen them try to rework class identity over time, and that has felt a little weird. So the idea of them reworking the basic and classic set seems like a pretty good idea to me. Mm-hmm. And that's one of those things that, you know, maybe you don't think about when the game's in development, or you don't think about it. It doesn't matter the first couple of years of the game, but now we're at almost 6 years, right? That, yeah, maybe it's time. And we see every once in a while, like the solution is people are playing this card too often. Let's rotate it to Wild via Hall of Fame. Doesn't seem like a super awesome solution to me. So I don't know.
No, it really doesn't. But they did say that anything that has been nerfed rotating to Wild is under consideration for being reverted.
What?
Yes, is under consideration. Not necessarily, but okay. So you remember Dr. Boom, Mad Genius, how he went from, 7 mana to 9 mana, then back to 7? So now what they said in the AMA is following that pattern, anything being rotated and possibly other cards are under consideration for being reverted.
What cards are there? I can't even remember. Like, I know we talk about Yogg and
yes, Yogg got reverted. That's one for sure. Spiteful Summoner got reverted, right?
I don't remember what else there was. I feel awful for that, but
like what's out there right now that hasn't transitioned over. I think that's one of the questions.
Molten Giant.
Molten Giant was reverted. Yeah.
Yep.
Patches. 2 patches.
Patches. Call to arms. Call to arms back to 4 mana.
Even tally. Let's go.
Oh, so wait. Does this mean they can hook? Wait, my favorite deck. Hold on. Whoa. We can get Grim Patron back?
Maybe.
Yeah,
Come
I
on.
don't know. I kind of
Yeah.
doubt.
Come on, that's my dog.
I don't know if they brought back Raza. I don't see why they wouldn't. I mean,
Raza.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the Raza unnerf, but I mean,
Or
if they're just
Song
opening
Commander.
up the floodgates, it's a slippery slope to go down. It really is.
Oh, they should just
Hashtag
rotate.
free patron.
Let's rotate and unnerf charge. I'm only kidding. Let's not do that.
I was so like the Patches nerf. What I felt really bad about was when they nerfed Patches, they nerfed his voice line also because he used to say "I'm in charge"
Oh, yeah.
now, and they took.
Yeah, they straight made the voiceover guy come in and we're like, no, we need to do a new line here. Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's crazy.
He got
You know what?
neutered.
I'll always say Patches being nerfed actually kind of helped me because in the dumbest way ever, by the way, I used to forget to attack with Patches all the time. I would play like
I feel you.
Nazos first bait and then like attack with the weapon and hit end turn. And I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, I missed one damage.
It's all good. I did the same thing, but I just play it off. It's a light flex, a little BM. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no.
I give you one extra damage. You know what I'm saying? It's all good.
It's oh my God.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with that. There's a lot of potential. Another thing that they talked about is these cards called vanity type cards, which would be a card that has a different image when it's in your hand, your library, and the board. So like it could have a possibility of like 3 different types of art. So when it's in your hand, it looks one way. When it's on the board, it looks a different way, and when it's in your library, it looks another way. I don't know exactly. I mean, alternate art is super cool. I don't really care if it looks different in my hand than it does on the board.
I encourage you to check out on Twitter HS Mathematics, Hearthstone Mathematics. It's HS_mathematics. They predicted this was back. Oh gosh, I don't know. It was a long time ago, but they reposted it 5 days ago of what their kind of proposed appearance would be for a battle pass, and it was awesome though because they have in here like alternate hero art, and they made something. It's like a platinum card instead of gold. It's platinum, and it's got like not only is it the color, it's got alternate art. It's got like electricity going around it. Like I was like, oh, I kind of want that. It's super cool. So
great. That would be great. One thing when it comes to the upgrading of your cards that they did mention is that in the past they were talking about the being able to upgrade to golden cards instead of actually crafting a golden card. Apparently that is not on the roadmap currently.
yeah, I'm kind of sad about that because I like
I
the
thought it was
idea.
coming.
They've been talking about it, although I tell you, for me personally, like I kind of like the idea of having both. There's pros and cons. Like I like the idea of upgrading my current to the gold version, and I suppose if you really wanted both, and you craft the non-gold for cheaper, and maybe that's silly. I don't know. I'm sad that they said that it's. I like that's what they said, right? Hey, we're still thinking about it, but it's not currently on the table.
Yeah, they shouldn't have told us about it in the first place.
Yeah, don't
'cause
tease me.
That's mean, right?
It is. Straight
Yeah.
up.
They also talked about, or Alec Dawson was saying that dual class cards are not out of the picture.
What?
They like them, and they didn't talk about when and where and how we'll see them again. But there's something that are not off the table and may and possibly will be seeing soon. So
That's new to me. I remember reading when these cards came out, they said this was the only set with dual class, and I got sad because I'm like,
Yeah.
it's cool when they bring something out, and they're like, nah, it's just this one time. Like last year with the whole year story arc, I wish that was gonna happen again, but I'm over it. So I'm excited to hear that we can possibly have more dual class cards in the future.
Yeah, I
For
love
sure.
the idea of what we've seen in the past is that they release some kind of new mechanic, and then it's for this set only, and no sets in the future. Like with Cthulhu, for example. Man, I would love it, even if, and this would be a wild only thing, right? That's the problem. But God,
Yeah.
even if one set there was a Cthulhu card, like one card per set.
Or if they they talk about bringing some of the wild cards back into standard for a temporary time, maybe that's when you launch the additional Cthulhu cards. Just for the set, and then rotate them back out.
Yeah.
Give some classes Cthulhu cards that need them, right?
That is cool. I like that idea. If they had a set coming out, and then you said they mix it with bringing like Cthulhu back or some whatever wild legendary back, and then the set had those cards for that. That's pretty cool. I like that idea. Very smart. He is a thinker.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
You said sometimes?
Sometimes.
They also talked a lot. Oh, what up, Mike?
No, I was reading chat. I just peeped this. It said, we need Whispers of the Old Gods too. That's cool right there.
Yep.
That would be sick.
Yeah, that would be sick.
Mm-hmm.
That was probably the best set ever. I mean, in my opinion.
Oh, it
My
was
favorite. Oh, good. Yeah.
It was amazing for me because that's when, I finally started to they gave you free legendary, right? So everybody was given Cthulhu, and I just jammed it and everything. And I didn't know, I didn't understand at the time all the different websites and resources. I was just building random Cthulhu decks with every single class that I could, and it was just so fun. And that's how I got my golden mage. I played only Cthulhu Mage over. I was like, Twin Emperor Vector is the sweetest card ever. Oh yeah,
I remember that. That card was awesome.
Oh yeah, no, I had so much fun with that, and it wasn't good, really.
Yeah,
but
it would be interesting though. So in this set they did soul shards, right? I mean, it would be interesting if they next set they've got one card, that says shuffle 2 soul shards into your deck and do XYZ. What could it hurt, right? I don't know. I think that'd be cool, but
I think they probably run into the problem where their creativity becomes stale because they're just recycling the same stuff over and over. And I assume, as people leave and new people come in, new people probably want to do their stuff and they want to put their stamp on Team 5, on that creativity.
That's a good point. I do think that if they stick with dual class cards, that they definitely have more versatility from a design point of view, where they're not tied to a specific mechanic, but just the idea that, hey, I could use this in potentially 2 different classes, leaves things pretty open-ended for them. If I'm the designer, that seems more feasible than why would I create a new Cthulhu card that nobody is going to play except one dude, versus hey, I can make a twin class. I can, this new set coming out in December, we'll do 2 twin class or 2 dual class cards per class, and it won't be as much as it was before, but okay, then you have some versatility. I'm okay with that. I think that's actually really cool. So
yeah, it
always throws me off when I see one, like the mage rogue ones, and that you typically will see in, what is it, Wand Thief, that you typically see in mage, and then I'm playing against an odd rogue and they drop Wand Thief. I'm like, whoa, yeah, that's crazy. You can play that in rogue.
Yeah.
So, and it would be cool. I mean, some of the other effects to make a return. Your twin spell, or echo, twin spell, discover, inspire, to see that stuff come back and not be limited to just one set, I do think would be pretty cool. But
speaking of coming back, they talked about old hero portraits that were unavailable now, but people could get in the past, and they're talking about bringing some of those back, along with new hero portraits that they're working on. Specifically, there's a new druid one they spoke about called Hamul Rune Totem.
Yes.
You pronounced rogue incorrect. Oh wait, no new rogue hero. Oh damn.
I'm checking my
Thank
notes.
you, Mike. Thank you.
No love for rogue. No love for rogue.
Rogue.
6 years, 2 heroes. Come on.
We need to ask Goliath about Hamul. All I know is it's a Tauren druid character.
So that's neat to always go back and, if you didn't get something, you can get it now.
It makes,
if that's what you're into as a collector. For me, I'm a sucker. They put it in the store, and I'm like, oh, I didn't get that one. I got it now.
From a pure financial aspect, like, why wouldn't they do that stuff?
Yeah.
Like, there's zero downside to them, and I get it from the collector point of view. There is always something to be said about, I have this thing and none of you guys have it, and that makes me feel, I don't know, good about myself or superior, right? But like, I remember when they released Khadgar for the first time, and you had 5 days to buy it, and only if you had an Apple device. And
I missed that.
And so you exclude half the people, and then they didn't release it again for how many years? 3 more years or something like that. And so that kind of, there's a lot of feel bad, and so there's zero downside to them. Like, I think half the people I see on Twitter is like, shut up and take my money. Like, I will pay you to let me have that thing. And so, but we've seen them start to experiment with it with card backs. Speaking of which, I think that the cupcake one is overdue to come back.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I have that one.
There should be something for at least for people that have been with the game. I mean, obviously, speaking as a veteran myself, like somebody who's been there since almost day one or from the beginning, to show that, hey, I've been around. I supported this game for a long time. Look at me show that off a little bit. It's in all games. It's not just Hearthstone. It's in all games. Or not all games, but there's a lot of other games that are like that you've got founders packs and things like that they can show off with, like, hey, I started off with this game, and it's cool that you want to get the old heroes, but there's still got to be some rep for the old schoolers.
That's very true. When they gave the Ragnaros card back and came back out, I was like, no. I got that one legit.
Yep. But like, should we get like a golden version of it, or some little shot, just some slight differentiation to show that we're the original version of that?
The new one has like a watermark on it that says noob.
It should. Yo, I like what you guys are saying, because I never knew I felt a certain way until they started bringing stuff back that I collected from 6, 5, 4, 3 years ago. And I'm like, hold up, like I got this the OG way, the original. You can't just repurpose it and let these new people have it. I never knew I would feel a certain way. I saw Mecha Jiraxis is gonna be coming back. I mean, come on, like I did that pre-order, like, oh man, it's all right.
I know, right?
Like $100.
I know. I dropped $80 on that.
Hey, I'm in Canada. It cost me $100.
Oof.
Oh, damn.
Oh man.
But you don't have to pay for when you go to the hospital, so that it balances out.
Yeah. You guys want to have a heart attack over it? It'll be okay.
Oh my god.
Women, I guess. Okay, let's move on. What else? Oh, so one of the biggest things that I thought was really cool is when they spoke about game modes, they said the word modes. They didn't just say game mode upcoming. So they are working on multiple future game modes. So not just the new one that's coming out in the next couple months here, but they are planning for the future. And that modes button, it's going to have some things in it, is what it's sounding like.
Rock and roll. I like it.
Yeah. Tournament mode, maybe? That's what everybody's hoping for, right?
Yeah.
Sounds like more YouTube content I can do for Born to Be Wild HS.
There you go. Well, and so there was some other stuff. There was one thing they said there's a new Paladin secret coming in the next expansion. There was something, and then they said, hey, the next expansion is coming in December. And I had joked about it with these guys. Like, I didn't even put it in the show notes because the new set always comes out in December. Like, that's not news, right? There were, There's
I overlooked it.
There's a bunch of other stuff that I didn't include in the notes because it didn't really apply to us. But they talked about Arena, and they talked about Battlegrounds, and I kind of glossed over. I enjoy Battlegrounds. I'm not very good at it. It's fun. But there's a lot more stuff. I'll put the link to the AMA recap in the show notes for you guys that want to read more about it. I'll post it in the chat too. and with our new homies, Out of Cards. So
Yeah.
here you go.
Out of cards.
There's a link if you guys are interested. They did talk about the battle pass, and honestly, I mean, what is like if I had to give a recap on the battle pass? Yes, they are looking at revamping the reward system in Hearthstone. No, we don't know what it's going to look like yet. These are some ideas we've been bouncing around. We wanted to get some input. Clearly, everybody does not want to lose their existing daily quests because that means bad things for the free-to-play players. And they made a pretty firm stance on that, saying, hey, we're not trying to take anything away. We're just trying to add. And so, if nothing else, like, more stuff is not bad, right? That was kind of my takeaway from this whole thing. And I am an absolute sucker for in-game cosmetics. And so if you stick that stuff under my nose, I will give you my wallet and buy it. Is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah. I've got the same problem.
Oh, same. That's why I didn't say anything else. I agree.
I mean, it kind of is what it is, right? We'll see, and I'm sure they will share more. I think that they said that they were planning to announce more stuff around the time that they announced the next expansion. I believe was the sort of time frame. But I mean, I would encourage you all to read the article on Out of Cards, and they have not only do they have their own summary of it, which I think is good, but they also have links to the actual AMA and quotes, like direct quotes, so you can read it straight from the developers. I will say from a player perspective, I appreciate the transparency. That, hey, we're thinking about doing this and asking for feedback, because they could very well not ask for any feedback at all and just say, hey, we're doing this and screw you guys. I mean, and so,
Right.
and we'd still buy it. I mean, who are we kidding, right? So the idea that they are somewhat interested in what the player base thinks, I think is very good, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, I think that that ends the news section. So, Mike, why don't you tell us about the new Wild Legends that we have?
Oh yeah, this right here, man. Listen, this is a very, very special part of our show. Because I remember the feeling the first time I hit Legend. Even though it took me a couple years into the game, but it's not about me. Let's talk about the new Legends in Wild. First one up, we have Lance Vindictive. We have Baney 64. This next one, the tongue twister, is it Babasoonist?
Babasoonist, I think. Yeah.
Babasoonist. All right. And the last one we have is LCSHS. So congratulations to our new Wild Legends, first time.
It's so cool, and in reading what these folks had to say, it resonates so deeply for me because I felt the same way. So I'm looking at these from LCSHS.
That one is good.
I'm literally crying and trembling. Thanks to you, I got to Legend for the first time. I played Reno Hunter, and this was sent to Duin. Play Double King Crush after you, and it's heartwarming because I remember the first time I did it, like I'm sitting here, I did it on my phone of all things, and my hands are like shaking. I was like, oh my god, I'm doing it, oh my god, I did it, and it was just absolutely crazy. This Babasoonist sent this out to Get Me Out. I hope it doesn't sound like I'm bragging, but I'm too proud to care right now. I just wanted to thank you because your list got me to my very first Legend. And I love the gratitude here from Bane. Shout out to Corbett Games for using his Odd Rogue list, which was super cool. And then also the other one to Lance Vindictive, or Corieno, I guess, was saying, hey, big shout out to Solemn and Raffle for their content as an inspiration. And so I think that's super cool. I mean, there's just a lot of gratitude going around. And so when we see not only is it super cool to hit legend for the first time, but then we see this gratitude of, hey, all of you were an inspiration to me. This is how I got there, and that's I like that. I think that's super cool. So,
very cool.
So, anyways, and I think now we can sort of get into the meat of our show. I hope you guys are ready for a 10-hour podcast as we spend 1 hour on each of Wildcard's decks.
I'm gonna have to get more beer.
So anyways, I think we had whittled these down a little bit, and I don't care what order that we go in, but the ones that it looks like we had put aside tonight, and whatever you guys want to talk about is fine. We've got a Reno Cthulhu Demon Hunter, an Egg Warlock, Recruit Warrior, a Reno Recruit Hunter, and a Bomb Pirate Warrior. So I'm good with whatever you guys want to chat about first. I have the decks, so I can put them.
I am so stoked to hear about the Reno Cthulhu Demon Hunter. That's the deck I want to hear about.
All right, well,
Yeah, same here. Oh yeah.
Sure. I can launch into it. Sure. So I made that deck probably late June of this year, and it actually, there's a little story behind it. It actually picked up a little bit of steam. A lot of people were playing versions of it, and it wasn't due to my tweet about it. It was due to someone else's tweet. But yeah, I think it just got a lot of good support from this expansion as well, and I've been messing around with it. I added Crescent to it. I added Glide to it. So those cards have been doing some work. But yeah, it's a tempo-based deck. I mean, none of these decks are meta breakers. I want to come with that caveat first off. But they, they can certainly take them to D5. Like they're all winnable decks. But yeah, the Reno Cthulhu. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Hydra. What's up?
I was going to say, how many activators do we have in this deck for Cthulhu?
Good question. Let me look at the list. I want to say there's probably 5. I took one out from the original, but yeah, Beckoner is one, and then of course there's the Twilight Elder. So if you can get Twilight Elder to stick, there's multiple activators there.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Crazed Worshipper. Obviously that could be a multi-activator as well. If it's against an aggro deck, there's a couple things bouncing off it. Where's the other one? There's another one in there too.
Is this like a tempo deck, or what do you?
It's totally a tempo deck. No, it's totally a tempo deck. 100%. Tempo.
Cthulhu's chosen.
We're all squinting because we cram 30 cards into this thing and then try to stick it on the screen, and so the cards are like microscopic. Yeah. So yeah, I'm doing the same thing.
We all need bifocals or something.
Oh god. We'll post for those of you watching, for those of you listening, we will post the deck lists. Actually, you know what? I'll post them in chat right now, and then I will post them again on our show notes when the podcast is released into the YouTube as well. So the first one up is this Reno Cthulhu Demon Hunter. I will run down the list super quick for those people who are listening to the audio only. I'm going to mess up half the names because I'm old and I can't read these because they're really small on my screen. Battle Fiend, Consume Magic, Lowly Squire, True Aim Crescent, the new weapon, Beckoner of Evil, Dirty Rat, Immolation Aura, Sightless Watcher, Zephyrs the Great, Ace Hunter Kreen, Blowtorch Saboteur, Coordinated Strike, Disciple of Cthulhu, I-Beam, Henchclan Thug, Satyr Overseer, Twilight Elder, Cthulhu's Chosen, Glide, Illidari Fellblade, Chaos Nova, Crazed Worshipper, Glaive-Bound Adept, Kobold Sticky Fingers, you bastard. Lotheb, Reno Jackson, Skulking Geist, Skull of Gul'dan, Priestess of Fury, and Cthulhu. Man, I have been seeing people all week stealing my Kingsbane, and you're one of them.
Yeah.
Sticky Fingers. with
Sticky
a Z.
Fingers is awesome, and that's clearly in there for that one deck. And
Mhm.
I think I've lost once to a Kingsbane, and I think every other time you hard mulligan for it. You face Kingbane, I don't care. One drop's gone. I'm looking for that thing.
Have you stolen a skull?
No, I haven't. I've faced it, but I just never had the opportunity to steal the skull.
Have you stolen a Shield of Bulwark? How do you pronounce it?
I've not.
Sorry.
No.
Yeah, that's actually pretty strong.
I seen that on Twitch. It was awesome.
I don't like it as much because I feel like, especially against aggro decks, you could ping it down really quickly. That's just my thoughts on it. And like one of my other decks is a recruit warrior, and I thought about putting it in there, but I just thought if there's a lot of small stuff, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's done. It's 4, I think, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I just felt like it would just get knocked down it would get pinged down too quickly.
It can, but for me, like it is definitely annoying to deal with. So
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just being goofy. I'm the comedic relief on the show. Don't mind me.
I know.
He said, I know.
Oh yeah, did you consider putting Sphere of Sapience in? Is that just not the style of deck that you're looking for?
No, I did, and I'm trying to remember why I pulled it out.
It wasn't golden?
I think no, it's the hero power. No, the hero power. Yeah, no, it's not golden yet. Yet it is not golden. But no, it's the hero power, because if you use your hero power, you're going to take a clip off of that, and it doesn't. Yeah, that's what it comes down. And even actually, Crescent. What's it called? Crescent, the Druian Crescent. You got to be careful with that too, because when you use it, you're also using it can mess up your hero power as well. Like if there's an empty board, you've got to be careful to, either I'm not using my hero power that turn, or I'm doing 2 damage into something, and like if there's an empty board, you're just not. Does that make sense? What I'm saying? Like
I mean, this deck is wanting to be attacking and being quite aggressive, and if you've got that weapon equipped, then you can't attack. It makes sense.
Yeah. So I've run into those problems sometimes, and sometimes I'm just like, okay, I guess I'm just using up a charge on it. So.
Yeah, super cool. I mean, it looks like a really fun deck. I've been saying this for years now, that like the longer we play this game, like the more and more Reno or Highlander decks that there are going to be, because our card pool is just so huge now that like I can put the shell, like the basic shell of whatever package that I want, and then put a whole mess of tech cards, and it's still a good deck. I mean, I think personally, like Reno Priest is like got to be tier 1 right now. Reno Mage is not far behind. Reno Warlock is never going to be a bad deck. But like you can make any deck Reno Jackson. And when I started going through these decks that you brought to get the card art for the pictures here or whatever, like, oh, it's a Reno deck. Oh, it's another Reno deck. Oh, it's another Reno deck. And, but there's no reason not to, right? I mean,
and they're so flexible. That's the thing. Like even like looking at my list, I mean, like Blowtorch Saboteur, it's not really that strong. It makes your opponent's hero power cost 1 more, but it's also the reason it's in there is because it's 3/4. It's just a good tempo card. Mm-hmm. But I can sub that out for a Zola or something. And I've had Zola in this deck before, but it's just she wasn't tempoing me out well enough. So that one was a little bit better. It was a little stickier. But yeah, there's so much flex. You could take this deck, and you're seeing a different meta. You're not seeing any Kingsbane. Pull out the sticky fingers. Whatever, there's so much flex to it, and you have to adjust as you go too. I love Reno decks for that reason.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. Like, you have been playing this on ladder, yeah?
Yes.
And how does it fare against everything else? I mean, I think that's the one downside to trying to be creative in Wild, I think, is that a lot of times we see these decks that are so refined that what you want to be creative, and it gets difficult because we've got decks that can kill you on turn 5, and it makes it
absolutely. It's probably the biggest frustration I have with Wild. And I never like to talk bad about Wild, but there are about 4 decks that I think are like tier S right now, being Quest Mage, Priest, Kael'thas Druid, and now Turtle Mage maybe, where they're just so over the top broken and no interactivity, that it really kills decks like this. And we live in this sort of bubble, at least the few of us, where we're high meta, we're up at the top. But there's a ton of people that play these decks from D10 down to silver and gold, and they're players down there, and they're trying to do this, and they're still facing those same decks. They just want to play what they want to play, and I think that's kind of killing the interest of Wild for a lot of those people as well. Because a lot of these decks are overpowered, and no, this deck is not, and it does. You have to play it very smartly against those decks. You have to hard mulligan for Dirty Rat against like Druid or Mage or something like that, or Priest. That's kind of why I want to bring Zola back, maybe because I'm seeing so many of those decks. I want to Rat Zola Rat again if I miss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's great. Yeah. You have to play like that though. That's not the style that I want to play.
It's interesting though. I mean, I think I know that Wild is sort of degenerate all the time, which is part of the reason that we love it. But I don't know. I mean, I kind of like where the meta is at right now in terms of, I don't know. For me personally, I didn't see a ton of Quest Mage, or depending on what you're playing. I guess you have to tweak what you're playing to your pocket meta. But I was playing. If we're playing Aggro Shaman or we're playing Pirate Warrior, I love seeing Quest Mage because their first few turns are so slow that by the time they're trying to play random spells, they're just dead. That being said, you take something that's not as refined into a tier S type deck. It's just not, like somebody called the Fun Please. Yeah. So absolutely. I know. I mean, I feel you there. And, playing casual, at least for me, is not as enjoyable as playing ranked. So, I mean, I still do it quite a bit, but not. I don't have the same validation.
I will say that I have met some good people playing casual. I was playing some random Hadronox Dragon Taunt Druid for fun because I didn't feel like playing ranked anymore. And this guy that I versed, he was playing a Demon Lock, N'Zoth full package with Gul'dan and everything. And I ended up winning. And in the end, he's like, dude, that was my favorite game I've ever played. I've never had a control sort of match like that where we were going toe to toe. I just always, I stop everybody with all my taunts. He's like, can I have your list? That was great. I'm like, well, I stole it from Raffle, but.
I will say it's always super cool when you have one of those games and you get a friend request and they're like, oh man, that's super cool, can I have your deck list? And I just to two real quick points. I do want to say that I think that we have kind of a creative meta at this point. It just in starting to see some new archetypes over the past couple of days. We are seeing some different builds of Odd Paladin. We are starting to see a new build of a Zoo Warlock with Dark Glare, which is incredibly annoying to play against because you can get a gigantic board on turn 3. Play Giants for free very easily. But it's all new, right? And I'm playing, I'm kind of my own tweaked version of this big shaman, and I faced somebody on the Wild Legend ladder playing Rogue, and I was like, what is this guy doing? He was drawing cards. He was playing what is the evasive one that you take damage, but then you can't take any. You're invulnerable the rest of the turn. He drops.
Oh, the secret.
Yeah, the secret. He dropped Anka on 5. I was like, oh, is this some kind of weird...
Oh.
Yeah, you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, is he playing some kind of weird death rattle thing? And then the next turn he played Myra's and burned his whole deck, and I was like, oh no. Next turn, he drops, was it Wild Pyro into a spell, into Mechathune, into Secret Passage, and I lost on like turn 6 or whatever. I was like, oh my God. I friend requested this guy, and he accepted, and I was like, can I have your deck list? That was amazing. And it was so cool. It was so cool. He ended up joining.
Yeah, he came into the Discord.
Yeah, he joined our Discord. I was telling everyone, hey, we started chatting about the show and the and the Discord and everything. He ended up joining, and we're chatting about this, and then we start seeing this a couple different builds of it, and it's super fun. And so I am a little bit encouraged that we're just seeing new things a little bit. Because it gets boring seeing Quest Mage over and over and over, and Pirate Warrior over and over and over. And so, even though there is still a lot of degenerate stuff, just the idea that it's varied a little bit is encouraging to me.
I'm pretty happy that Odd Paladin's coming back. The only thing that scares me about that is I'm going to see a lot more Flame Ward.
Yeah.
Right, more Secret Mage. Odd Paladin.
Hey Nate, what was the name of the player that you played against?
His name in the Discord is different than his name in BattleNet, and so it threw me off a little bit. But I will tell you, give him a big shout out. Hold on one second.
Also with Odd Paladin, that 5 mana blessing, +8/+8. Oh man,
I like it. I don't know that it's like tier 1. I've seen some people playing it, and I think it's super cool. But it looks like he he changed his name in the Discord to Dog. That's really funny.
Maybe it was Dog.
Yeah.
Maybe it was Doug. Hey, we got David C in our Discord. All right.
Woo. Anyways, that was super fun for me. I don't know. I saw somebody post on Twitter earlier this week about Mind Render Elucia. I think it was Jack, maybe it was somebody else, I don't remember. Talking about how it's an interesting card. Like, I've never seen a card make people rage quit so hard. But I think that card is very skill testing, because you don't just drop it. Like, you have to be very strategic when you drop it. Like, if I'm going to play this, am I going to steal my opponent's stuff? Am I going to... I saw someone comment that when you're playing an aggro deck and you've got a handful of, like, you've got Reno Jackson and a bunch of AoE, you play it on 2 just to flex. Hey opponent, look what I've got in my hand. Anyways, but it's definitely a skill testing card. I think that a lot of people have a difficult time playing. So that's an interesting one to me, but... Anyhow, do you want to talk more about this Reno Cthulhu deck? Do you want to move on to another one?
Yeah, I mean, I can talk a little bit more about this deck. I got a couple notes on each one. Just
yeah. Let's hear what you have to say about it.
No, it's actually funny because, like, I very rarely lethal with Cthulhu. It really is kind of a flavor card. But the other cards that support it are good tempo cards. But yeah, I think I've only probably won maybe 3 games by lethaling with Cthulhu. And again, like, it's just the speed of Wild. Wild is so fast that you're, generally dead by turn 6 or whatever. It's like you don't get to a turn 10 with Cthulhu, or get to build it up anymore. So you're just mostly just tempoing it out. But that is an interesting. It's just, and he's also good for sometimes late board clear too. Like, because if you do lose that tempo, there's not a lot of catch up. There's the one that does 4 damage across the board. You got Zeph to board clear if you get behind, but there's not a ton. But Cthulhu could be as well if it's a smaller board.
Yeah.
Because usually he's between like 8 to 11 is about on average of where I can build up my Cthulhu on each game. But yeah, I think that's about everything that I can think of. If you guys have any more questions, let me.
It's interesting because in a lot of like Cthulhu builds, you would see Brand sometimes, and I don't see that here. Not that it's needed because this is more of an aggressive tempo style deck. I would love to see you build a Reno Cthulhu rogue deck sometime.
Sure. I can do it right now.
It's like, well, let me just whip one out. So, okay. What do we have next? Do you want to take a look at this Egg Warlock?
Sure.
I
figured you would like that one.
Well, and was really, really hoping to see a deck with both that I have not had a chance to play with yet. Both Vectis and also Disciplinarian Gambling.
Yes. Gambling is very tricky because you don't want to kill your. And I screwed it up too, where I wasn't paying attention, and I plop a void lord down, and boop, I got a bunch of one-threes. I'm like, you dummy, But it is used as like kind of like Umbra, but a better Umbra, where you can take Gambling, and obviously the eggs work perfectly with it. Or if you want to cube something that's already on the board next to it, say there's a whatever. So there's a Mal'Ganis. You've already had Gamblings down after it. Then you cube Mal'Ganis. 4/4 pops out. The cube pops instantly. So it's nice that way. But yeah, you get or Sylvanas, you can insta steal stuff and get a 4/4. But you do have to be very careful with it. And again with I'm so on what's his name, Vectis, because you have to plan him a little bit. I really want to get the the better death rattles, but he is random. I found playing him earlier is better. If you can, obviously, cards are always random, but getting like 1/1s of the eggs is perfect. If I can get those to pop back out. They're fun additions. I really enjoyed.
I'm looking at the list here because this is a Reno deck. We've got 3 eggs, the Albatross, Voidcaller, Cube, Kartut, Defender, Sylvanas, and then your Enhanced Dreadlord, Voidlord. I don't know. I mean, the deck looks super fun. I'm anxious to play this as well. And I guess for those people listening, for the folks listening, I'll run down the list real quick as well. A Plague of Flames, Power Overwhelming, Sphere of Sapience, Unstable Fellbolt, Dark Bomb, Defile, Dirty Rat, Evil Genius, Nerubian Egg, Serpent Egg, Zephyrs the Great, Dark Skies, Demon Wrath, Devilsaur Egg, Bad Luck Albatross, Blast Crystal Potion, Disciplinarian Gambling, Kazakis, Voidcaller, Carnivorous Cube, Vectis, Kartut, Defender, Reno Jackson, Sylvanas Windrunner, Lord Godfrey, Enhanced Dreadlord, Mal'Ganis, Voidlord, Blood Reaver Gul'dan, and N'Zoth the Corruptor. And I will go ahead and post the list for this as well in the chat right now, and also in our show notes later, so you guys can try this out. And we'll be doing some co-op after the show. I'm not quite sure what deck we're going to play yet, but we'll take one of these for a spin for sure. So this one looks super fun for me personally. Number 1, as a Warlock main. Number 2, as like, I love greedy decks like this, and that we can jam Blood Reaver Gul'dan and N'Zoth the Corruptor into the same deck with a bunch of Death Rattle stuff. Sylvanas is always cool. I think Sphere of Sapience is a super awesome card, and I'm excited to play with that. This just looks really fun to me. How much luck have you had with it on ladder?
It's fine. I mean, it's again the same as the other one. Just they're not meta breakers, but if you play them smartly, you'll be fine. 50, 55%, 57%, something around there. I don't know. But yeah, it's the Sphere, and the same thing with my Hunter deck too. It's like the Sphere is awesome because it keeps the big cards out of your hand. and this also has, which of course you love, a little bit of cube lock effect to it as well.
Yeah.
It's Reno lock with cube. So.
Yeah, and I think Gambling seems cool. What is it? 4 mana, 3/6. Is that right?
Can't remember offhand what his stats are.
I think so.
And I apologize for the folks who are watching this live. This episode is sponsored by Comcast Xfinity. Thank you for our internet constantly dropping.
Not sponsored.
Right.
Yeah, 3/6, a four mana 3/6 priest and warlock, dual class, legend. And he, after you play a minion, destroy it and summon a 4/4 failed student.
Nice. Okay.
So yeah, they didn't explain what they did. I'm sorry. Yeah, for their new cards.
Oh no, it's all good. Hey, just a quick shout out for those people watching live on Twitch. I apologize that the stream keeps going down, but if you're interested, the video that we record of this is in HD. It'll be up on YouTube tomorrow, and the video fortunately does not lag. The audio version does not lag. We are recording it directly to my computer here, so sorry. I don't know what to tell you, but I appreciate your patience and joining us for the show. Aramorn is asking if you've considered Expired Merchant in this deck.
The reason I don't have Merchant in is, and that's the one that copies.
It discards the highest mana cost, and then you get 2 copies back, right?
Because it was coming back with N'Zoth. And I didn't want it coming back with N'Zoth, especially with all the death rattles that I have. It's like I see that and I'm like, come on, man.
No, but it's interesting though, because I think
greedy.
when we
it's just a little greedy. It doesn't. I don't necessarily need it. But I'm sorry.
A little greedy. This whole deck is greedy.
Yeah, hold up.
Agreed. Let's go.
There's nothing wrong with adding it if you want to add it, absolutely. But
No,
I just found I didn't like it re-resing, and also it just I didn't want it.
But let me tell you, when we and this reminds me of your legend run from a couple months ago, where sometimes Expired Merchant is like an alternate win con, because in the slower matchups you can, now not in this particularly, but I've seen it a lot in different Q block builds where you kind of have an alternate win con where you Expired Merchant, Faceless Manipulator, and then kill both of them, and then you get 4 copies of N'Zoth, 4 copies of Blood Reaver Gul'dan, and in especially in a matchup against any sort of slower deck, your Odd Warrior, your Reno Priest, or whatever, like sometimes that stuff is just, or even aggro matches, you can win by dropping N'Zoth 4 turns in a row. I mean, there's only so many times that you can clear the board. So, it's interesting. I think, I'm curious for your answer. From my perspective, I don't really want N'Zoth because it's going to bring back a bunch of eggs, which in the late game doesn't really help me reclaim board control or really tempo.
Well, the thing is what the eggs I found, and I wondered about that too, but what I found is what happens when you play N'Zoth. They've got some kind of AoE, right? They're going to remove that board that they've been sitting on because they know you're going to play N'Zoth. Then the eggs come back as whatever, like if it does bring back a couple eggs, there's your 5/5s and your 4/4s and your 3/4.
Yeah.
Left over.
I mean, there is also something to be said for leaving like an unbroken egg on the board, because it prevents your opponent from using AoE, at least in some regards, where you put them in check. I mean, it's a sticky board, and they know, oh god, well, if I clear this, I'm gonna have to deal with this other stuff. So I don't know. I mean, it seems pretty versatile to me.
Yeah, and there's enough stuff that if you are left with just an egg, there's a ton of things. There's Evil Genius. Actually, I think this is on my notes here. There's Evil Genius. There is Dark Bomb. There is Unstable Fellbolt. There is Power Overwhelming. All these things to activate your eggs.
I know. We need Defender of Argus.
Yeah, Defender works as well too. Mm-hmm.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, there's no wrong way to play. I mean, I might be wrong for leaving what's her name out, but yeah, she would end up getting played later for sure. I wouldn't use her as like an early, because a lot of times people just throw it down and get because they've got like a Gul'dan or a N'Zoth in their hand. But I would not do that early, because then she's in my pool early. I would probably do it right before, like the turn or two before I'm going to play that big either N'Zoth or Gul'dan.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. What style of game is this also? Like, would you call this one, is this kind of a tempo build as well? Like, how do you...
No, it's a control, for sure.
Okay. Interesting. All right. I like it. I like the idea of it. I'd been wanting to make an egg version work. And I don't know, like I guess my prediction was that Gandling would be, some sort of kind of meta-defining card, and I maybe proven wrong on that one, but
he's fun, but he's not super amazing.
Hey, what about Terran? Terran, what is it?
Gorfiend.
Gorfiend. Silence is a thing, and you have to have an activator with him. I think I had him in this deck initially, and I just found he wasn't working.
That's interesting.
But yeah, it's just because you need an activator because otherwise he just sits there with all the stuff inside him, and then if he gets sheeped or frogged or whatever, your stuff's gone.
Yeah,
I figured it out. You played the merchant to bait out the taunt, and then we played Terran.
I think.
Oh wait, then we lose N'Zoth. Now we're crapping on N'Zoth too many times. Don't piss off the old gods. Never mind.
No, it's interesting though, because I think we've had that conversation a lot of times about in Warlock decks in particular, leaving like a carnivorous cube that's eaten something, like you leave it on the board, you're risking that your opponent is going to silence it or turn it into a sheep or a frog or whatever. And are you willing to do that? Maybe not.
Evil Genius is a great activator. Like it's just you play your cube down, Evil Genius it, and I got that idea from playing the cube block. Playing what's his name's cube block. So that could work. But there's only so many spaces too. That's you got to consider as well. What are you taking out to put X in? And you got to survive to the later turns to get your stuff going. So.
Right. Okay, so unless anyone's got more comments or questions, I want to move on to this Recruit Hunter, because this is kind of my pet deck of this new set.
Go.
So, and again, big shout out to Labore Sangre, who just took a version of. Hold on, I pulled the wrong one up on screen. Who took a version of this to Legend a day or two ago.
He did Recruit Warrior. You just said Recruit Hunter.
Yeah, sorry. Which one do you guys want to talk about next? Recruit Warrior or Recruit Hunter? I have them in different orders. So
let's ask Wildcard. What do you want?
I would say Hunter, because there's a lot of different Recruit Warriors going around. Recruit Warrior did get a lot of good support this expansion, but I think maybe my Hunter's a little more unique. I don't know.
Yeah, I like that. Let's look at that.
Yeah.
I like it too.
Yeah.
Let's check it out.
Okay. So it's sort of a similar build in the design, except you're using your secrets to delay the game to the late game. You've got, obviously, again, Sphere is a great addition to this because it's got a huge fat ass on it, and I don't want to see Undasta on turn 2. Like I want him out of my. I want him for later. It's got. And like you got it all, and then like there's a couple of things like I run Skulking Geist in this deck. Skulking Geist you got to be careful with because it kills your play dead. So you've got to kind of play around that a little bit. Play dead is very, very, very good for eliminating early minions and things like that. If you use it with the mech, Spider Bomb, things like that. And obviously 9 lives, bring it back, kill another minion. But if you've got Skulking Dice, and that Skulking Dice is in there obviously for Quest Mage and things like that.
Sure. What about so? I have to tell you, Katharina Winterwisp is one of my favorite cards of all time. So I love seeing that. The King Crush, Undasta, Swamp King Dread is awesome. Dino Tamer Brand. Question for you. No Beastmaster in this deck.
Wait, what's Beastmaster again?
I don't know. I need to look it up. This is a question from from Grumble the Beauty
I believe
Shaker.
Beastmaster copies a beast in your hand, right?
Oh, it just sounds really greedy and slow to me personally. What are the stats on it?
Hold on, let me pull it up here. It's
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's a 3-mana 3/4. Whenever you draw a beast, give it +2/+2.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. I don't know. It just seems a little greedy. I'm not saying it's wrong not to include it. I welcome innovation for sure.
What?
But go ahead.
And I guess there's a combo with Beastmaster and who was the one that's Rexar's dad? Was it Leo Rocks or whatever it's called?
Leox?
Yeah, Leox. I don't know.
The legendary.
Yeah.
Lerox.
I'm sorry.
Summon 3 to the board.
Beastmaster, yes, that summons 3 minions from your hand onto the board. So there's a combo with that of you pull King Crush, you pull Charged Devilsaur, you pull Undasta.
But I'd have to have all of them in my hand. It sounds very. I would need to get I would need some draw to get them to my hand, and it sounds like just a different build entirely.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Okay.
I think my response to Grumble on that one would be like, let's try it, but I think there's a build around there where it's let's do some hand buff stuff, and then that sounds like an OTK combo. If I can do it. The tricky part here is surviving long enough, and I don't know. You've kind of got it looks like your low end on this deck is some secrets to stall out the game, some spot removal.
Ace Hunter is of course again BFFs with True Aim. Those guys go together great.
Yeah, and I keep forgetting about these dual class cards. So I saw Ace Hunter Kreen in here. I was like, oh, that's a Demon Hunter card. You can't put that in this deck. I love it.
You're looking at a big X on my deck list.
Right? No. I think
invalid.
PSA on this one. This has 13 legendaries.
Wallet.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wallet Hunter.
13.
Sure. If you want to rename my deck, that's fine.
Though, I just I opened the client and I'm like, can I make this deck? And I have them all, so cool. I'm good. I'm gonna play this. I got it all.
Oh, nice. So Goliath is saying that by the way, that guy is Rexar's dad, and we'll be talking about him in our Outland lore episode. So that's super cool.
nice.
I do think that it's a build around Lerox, but I would like to try it. I swear Duin has probably done it. I
run into that problem all the time with Hunter decks, where I'll message him and be like, "Hey, I'm not trying to copy what you did, but I'm trying to get this. What have you It's like, oh yeah, I've done that, and it's like he's done everything with Hunter already. It's insane.
between Duin and Sidisi,
Oh man.
we'll find something though. I'll try to find something later, because I swear, there's something there. So Grumble, I don't know if you're on the Discord or not, but check back there later. Hey Ben from work just joined, and this is hilarious. I don't know if you've been with us this whole time or not, but we've been talking trash on Nizoth, so I think that's why you were summoned. That's why you were summoned.
He was summoned.
Somebody heard.
But so how do we play this deck? I'm curious. What am I looking for in my mulligan? Am I just trying to survive? What is my win con?
No, you are trying to survive, and you're using your secrets, you're using your early minions, to cheat out that end game, to get to that point, because a lot of decks just can't answer it, or they'll kill Katharina thinking you got like two beasts in your deck, then another 2 roll out. Swamp King Dread is such an MVP against combo decks if you can get him out, because it just locks them down. If you can't slam down your combo if your first minion of that combo is going to die. But yeah, it's that kind of style. And I've made some concessions with this because it was just kind of getting run over by aggro sometimes, even with the secrets and everything, where I put Zixor in and I put the Albatross in there as well, and they're beasts. So keep in mind, Katharina can pull those out. And not to mention, when Zixor Prime comes, Zixor Prime can also be pulled out as well. But it's not bad. It's still a 4/4 with Rush.
Yeah,
but
I do.
You'd rather have the full board for sure. But
definitely,
there are concessions to surviving, I guess.
Yeah, I like the inclusion of 9 lives in this. I think that like 9 lives hits pretty strong. I mean, you can use it with Katharina, you can use it with Sylvanas, you can use it with Zixor. Seems pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Spider
most
Bomb
times it's Sylvanas and Spider Bomb. Yeah, that's usually what I'm picking, because I see 9 lives and I'm like, I just need to get rid of something.
Hey, let me ask you. Well, how many secrets do you have in here? 3, it looks like. Bear Trap, Explosive Trap,
or Wandering.
Well, so why are you not running Mad Scientists?
I guess I could. I mean, I don't see any reason why not.
I'm not trying to grill you. I'm sorry.
No. I'm totally fine with it. I'm 100% fine with it.
Wild HS.
This is why I love coming on here. Yeah, no, this is what I love about. Because otherwise you're in your little world and you're just doing your own thing, or maybe you're messaging someone. But to sit and actually talk this out is gold. I love it. I'm so glad you guys went beyond. Thank you. But no, it could be. Or also the fact that for 2 mana I could just play the secret that I want to play, and that's true. The thing about the Mad Scientist is if he pulls an Explosive Trap and I'm facing against a 3/3.
You don't want that. Yeah.
So.
I do think the other card that I'm curious that I don't see here, and maybe it's just not the right build for it, is the Lion. What is it? The 5/2 with Rush. Again, maybe it's just not. Maybe it's not the right build for it, because like I saw Duin the other night on stream built an egg deck and was running Lions in that, but the eggs have such low cost that a lot of our Death Rattle on this is higher cost, and I just don't think that. Like, it's too conditional, maybe.
Yeah.
That being said, like using it on a Spider Bomb would be pretty dope.
Oh yeah.
But or a Sylvanas, but the mana cost I think is too high where you want to try to get those in the same turn.
Yeah, Sylvanas might not be long for this deck. Again, it's like Hydra asked me earlier in this episode. It's just like. She's almost in there because I love her as a card. It's like,
okay. I
don't want to get rid of my favorite card, but I mean, she's not really good for this meta. So I mean, maybe she gets replaced for something else.
I've always thought though, if there's a card that you love, and this game is a game, and I'm gonna quote Squelchcast, the Squelch podcast. It's supposed to be fun, right?
Yeah.
So why the heck not play your favorite card?
Yes. Thank you for saying that. And this is why I played Nexus Champion Sarad.
Like, why not do it? Like, if that's the card you like you have no idea how long I played Illidan. They like the worst card ever, but I played that card. It was my first golden legendary, and I played that card. So I don't know. If you like it, play it. Who cares?
Shout out to Squelchcast. That's a great quote right there. Good reason. It is a game. You're supposed to have fun, no doubt.
Yep.
I fully support that.
Yeah, for sure. So, is there anything else we want to talk more about this deck, or do we want to move on? Wildcard, do you have anything else to say about this one?
I think that I can think of. I think that's everything. It's pretty self-explanatory. Other than that, I hope. I mean, if anybody has any questions, if they've tried the decks out during the week and they're struggling, please feel free to message me. I'll even co-op with people and help them out.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I will say
nice.
that Recruit Hunter was a favorite of mine when it was standard, so I would definitely like to try this.
Yeah. I agree, and I mean, I remember, and this, of course, is not Born to Be standard, but God, I loved Recruit Hunter. We were playing. I don't remember the card. Was it Valkyrie something, or it was the 8 mana that, or 7 mana 3/3 that had Death Rattle drop an 8 cost or something like that.
Silver Vanguard.
Yeah, there you go. And
you.
playing that to pull out Charged Devilsaur was like my favorite thing to do.
I love Charged Devilsaur. Oh, guess it. I have them golden.
Ooh, nice.
Ooh, nice.
I
can't help myself.
Between what was it? Charged Devilsaur and Witchwood Grizzly, and King Crush was just so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree with you, and Swamp King Dread is one of those legends that has aged so well over time, where nobody played it forever and ever and ever, but now, especially in kind of a combo pervasive meta, like it's awesome against Quest Mage, it's awesome against some of the combo druid type stuff. Where
do you remember the video with Swamp King Dread in the Snow Flipper Penguins?
What?
When they first introduced Swamp King Dread, they put him on the board, and then the opponent played a bunch of Snow Flipper Penguins, and he just like attacks and kills them all.
He ate
was
them
very
all.
sad.
Penguin Massacre. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
it's just a giant dinosaur eating a bunch of birds.
So
Yeah.
unnecessary.
Did you? Let me ask you, because I see some Death Rattle synergy here. Have you considered at all the new dual class spell, the Guardian Animals, and any of the 5-cost beasts? Like, I know there's the new one that has Death Rattle with Taunt. I don't know what it's called.
Oh yeah. No, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, because I've seen that a bunch of like standard players have brought that deck over, and I've seen a couple of them on ladder today. I can't remember the name of the card, but no, I haven't actually.
What's the crazy thing is that there's just so many ways that you can build something like this that I don't know. These dual class cards have blown my mind a little bit, because I even then
Hold on. I need to interrupt. I'm very sorry. It was not Snow Flipper Penguin. It was Murloc Tinyfin.
Oh, that's even sadder.
Oh,
I hate Murlocs. That makes it better for me.
yeah, man.
Yeah, because I had to Google it because I had a moment. I'm like, wait. Yeah, it was Murloc Tinyfin.
That's funny.
Continue. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's good. Anyways, I keep it like Guardian Animals, for example. I think about that and like, oh, that's a druid spell. You can't put that in this deck. So these dual class cards are blowing my mind a little bit. It's this like old dog new tricks thing, but I love the idea. There's probably some crazy stuff. I think that I would love to. There's got to be a combo there with Knuckles, maybe, or I don't know. Like, there's some crazy stuff that we can do.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, like Doohan does a lot of the Knuckles stuff, but he builds his deck to focus around Knuckles. Like, it would be very difficult, especially with the amount of beasts that are in this deck, to just gear in on. Well, I mean, actually, there's the one that does. There's a new card that buffs. Maybe we talked about it earlier, but it buffs. It either buffs the minions, the beasts in your deck, or copies.
Yeah,
the
Shandu.
beasts. And I considered that. Maybe I'll swap it Sylvanas for it or something. But it just seems very.
It seems surprisingly. It was surprisingly versatile. So Doohan just started streaming. His first stream was on Wednesday this week, and it was funny. I watched for a little while, and someone had asked him in chat to rank the Hunter legendaries, and he was kind of flipping through his collection, and he's like number 1 Knuckles, duh. It was great.
But it's just a fun card. I mean, it's one of the most fun cards in the game.
I remember a time that he was running, this OTK version of some Knuckles deck, and I was using it, and it's not something you're going to hit legend with, right? But it's so fun. And then getting those after game friend requests, like, oh my God, what just happened to me? It's the greatest thing. So, well, this looks like fun. I think the only thing missing for me in this deck is a Charged Devilsaur, but I totally get it. I mean, it's you've got a pretty high top end here anyways, so you probably don't want to add it.
We could probably take out Alexstrasza. I mean, she's not as powerful as she once was. You might be able to swap that for Charged Devilsaur. That's a good.
Maybe.
Out.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Or Witchwood Grizzly, I could see adding in here. Who knows? I mean, this looks so much fun.
Yeah.
And I was looking back at my collection over this past week and was kind of sad to see that once I hit 1,000 wins with Hunter, like I barely played it. I'm only got like 1,010 wins or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, once you hit 1,000, it's just like you were spectating me. I was yesterday, and I was playing Warlock in casual because I'm like, why would I practice my Warlock deck on ladder when I already have 1,000 wins with it? There's no point.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, let's move on to this Recruit Warrior deck. And this has been kind of my pet deck of Skullomance Academy. I've been trying to make this style of deck work for a long, long time, and I just think it has never been good enough until now. And again, this is what we were talking about earlier, where our buddy Labore Sangre just hit legend with a version of this deck and wrote a kind of a guide on it. And it's interesting because this is a different build on that. We've seen a couple different versions, and I'm really, really tempted to bust out the old Photoshop and put together a deck comparison here. But there's some good stuff, and what we always, I built a version and a couple other people built versions, and I swear, talk about Charged Devilsaur, you're running 2 in this list.
That's right.
Because when you recruit it, it actually has charge.
That's right.
Nice.
So this seems pretty cool. I will go over the list real quick, and thankfully it's a non-Reno deck, so I can actually read it. 2 copies of Athletic Studies, 1 copy of Boom Squad, 2 copies of Sword and Board, 1 copy of Whirlwind, 2 Executes, 2 Bashes, 2 Ramming Speeds, 1 copy of Reckless Flurry, 2 copies of Molten Breath, 2 copies of Brawl, 2 copies of Gather Your Party, 1 copy of Commencement, 2 Charged Devilsaurs, 1 copy of Plagued Proto-Drake, a Lich King, 1 copy of Troublemaker, a Woe Cleaver, Rattlegore, Colossus of the Moon, Dimensional Ripper, and Yasiraj Rage Unbound. So definitely a very high top end on this. I'm curious to get your take on this, but the way I've seen these decks played out is essentially you can't start recruiting until turn 6 at the earliest with Gather Your Party, and so
Or 5 with coin.
Or 5 with coin. And so the first half of the game, you are actively trying to not die. So the cards that recruit here, Gather Your Party recruits a card from your deck. Commencement recruits a card from your deck and gives it Taunt and Divine Shield.
That one is broken.
Yeah, it's pretty gnarly. Especially depending on what it pulls. Oh my goodness. It is pretty crazy. So I like it. Yeah, I don't know. I like it a lot. Troublemaker is one of my favorite cards of this new set. I know I scored this one a lot higher than other people, but I absolutely love it. It's very slow, but once, like, if you can stick one, it's a must kill, because otherwise it causes like
Trouble.
Yeah.
Like at the same time.
Oh yeah! Wow. I stay ready, bro. I stay ready.
Yeah, seriously. After I played this deck for a little bit, not a long time, like I said, but Troublemaker is oh boy, it's pretty good. You never really want to pay full mana for it, but when it pops out, you got to get rid of it.
I tell you what, my only complaint with these decks, like I like cheating when I play Hearthstone, especially gasp, right? I play a lot of Warlock, and I like Void Callers because I can pull out Doom Guards and Mal'Ganis and Void Daddies and stuff like that. And I'm a little bit sad that Gather Your Party costs 6 mana, Commencement costs 7 mana, where I want to play Commencement for 4 mana. Or 5, you know.
Oh, Set Breaking Wild, Nate. That's when that becomes like a tier S deck, and then people are complaining about it because that's like Barnes, you know.
Yeah, that's why Barnes is not in this list.
Mm-hmm.
Barnes is nerfed. It's too slow. You
also don't want a Dimensional Ripper pulling out 2 Barneses. So
yeah, that'd be. Oh my gosh, that was always so funny when somebody like Eternal Servitude or whatever it was into Barnes, and you're like,
slow clap.
Is there any way to make Gather Your Party cost less as a warrior, or is that just Shaman Druid stuff? Innervate, Lightning Bloom,
Thorson.
I don't think there is, aside from an Emperor tick. So here's the thing. What you have to do in these decks is you spend the first half of the game not dying. So they're very control heavy. I think Sword and Board is really good, like surprisingly good. What is it? Deal 2 damage, gain 2 armor, or something like that. Yeah. I think is really good.
For 1 mana. Yeah.
I think 2 Brawls is a must in this deck. I like Coerce, which you're not running. That I thought was good.
I will say the removal it's pretty solid to make your way to the mid.
I think so too. Hey, what does ramming speed do again? Does that force the minion to attack the one next to it?
To smash the other one, yeah. So it works really well against like Discard Lock is great against, because you've got those minions with like the 3 health, and they're all right around that same size, and you can sort of smash them together and eliminate 2 big or 2 mid-sized minions. I think that's what's best used. I mean, obviously, if there's 2 big minions, even better. But 90% of the time, that's what you're using it for, or something along those lines.
It doesn't
like
let you.
3/3.
It'll let you target one minion, but you don't get to pick which
way it goes.
Attacks, right?
So you pick the one on the end usually, or something like that.
Okay. I don't know. I like it. How has your luck been using this?
It's fine. I mean, it's probably the weakest deck out of the ones that I've featured so far, at least to me. So maybe there's room for improvement there. But like this is one of my older decks too, where I had a sort of more meany version of it before. And I used to run Nosdormu, Kel'Thuzad, what's his name? The Mayor. So it was
Noggenfogger.
Yeah. So it would pull all this stuff out, and it would just create complete chaos on the board. Yeah.
Swagyar, where are you?
What's up?
Swagwar.
Yeah, Swagyar, where are you?
Swagwar.
I think if it was me personally, I pull out Colossus of the Moon and put in the other Colossus, the 7/7 with the Death Rattle, maybe.
Yeah,
but maybe not.
I mean, they're both sticky. They really are both sticky.
Colossus is super sticky. They're both sticky.
Yeah.
The one that
Colossus is 4 times sticky, though. That's the thing.
It really is, and I think I was chatting with Blue Train about this the other day, because I was complaining about Colossus of the Moon and why it sucked, and he's like, dude, it does not suck, and the reason why is because it has both Reborn and Divine Shield, and so they have to kill it 4 times, and so it is a major threat. If you can't deal with it, it turns into a big problem. When
the card was first announced, it was a bad card, but nobody was thinking about recruiting it or resummoning it, right?
Yeah. Well, we cheated out. Where I really see it played quite a bit right now is in Big Shaman, and you can cheat it out early. You can give it Death Rattle, resummon this, summon multiple copies of it, and it can get out of control and win you games for sure. I am very curious about Plagued Protodrake. It just seems like a big old dragon. And what does it drop when it dies?
A 7
7.
drop.
A random? Was it a random?
Oh, that's what
random-
you're talking
a
about.
random
there.
7 cost.
Yeah. So it's sticky, basically, is what it is.
Yeah.
Got to be careful. It might give you Linessa Sun Sorrow.
Hey, but that's better than nothing on the board, right? Like a 1/1 is better than nothing. I'll take it.
Touche.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A small touche, but a small, very, very, very small touche.
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, this definitely looks fun. I've seen a few different builds, and I think over this weekend I'm probably going to try to do a little comparison thing going on here because I love the idea of this. I've been wanting to make it work for such a long time, so it seems very
And it's still
fun to
like
me.
you're right. It's not quite. Again, it's not a top tier deck, right? If all that recruit stuff was like 1 or 2 mana cheaper, oh hell, man, this deck would be broken.
Yeah.
But it's just at a comfortable level, It keeps you honest, like you've got to work that much harder to get to your late game, and even then, like a lot of times, I'll just run out of minions, and that's how I die because I'm like, well, you killed all my minions. I'm not rezzing them. I'm not big priest, so I guess I'm dead.
Now, I do see, this was a long time ago. There's a version of this that runs Dead Man's Hand.
Interesting.
And I don't know that it's, I wouldn't call it good necessarily, but I think where we see this deck lose sometimes is that there's potential to run out of minions, and that's your refill. That being said, I think you don't really want that as your win con. You want to try to get these out and smash your opponent in the face with them. Anyway, so yeah, it looks super fun. Anyways, I don't know. Again, this is kind of my pet deck for this expansion, so I love seeing this.
Yeah, I think it's a really fun deck. I've been having fun with it, so.
Okay, so we've got one more. We've got a little bit of time, so why not? I want to bring up your Bomb Warrior just because one of the things that you had mentioned early on is that these decks range in their competitive value versus like fun values, so to speak, and depending on what you're I mean, depending on what you're looking to do, right? Do I want to enjoy myself and have fun playing, or do I want to like rank up? And so you had these sorted a little bit by how viable they were competitively, and you were saying that this Bomb Warrior was probably the one here with the highest win rate.
Yeah. Oh, this is the one I took from. I mean, that was the one I took day 1 up to rank 5, or D5, whatever. And I went 77% of my games, I think.
That's an insane. That's like an absolutely insane win rate.
Talk to him. Okay.
Yeah. Right. Well, and that's why I thought. I mean, it's worth talking about because that's a really high win rate. So, I mean, essentially, this looks to me like a Pirate Warrior, kind of a classic Pirate Warrior build, but you've got the bombs in here too. So I see the Clockwork Goblins. I see the Wrench Calibers. I see Sephorium Bomber.
Sephorium Bomber. You don't see that one too often.
No, you don't.
Snap.
But I've always liked it. And then what I think is interesting, looks like you are not running Corsair's Cache, but you are running the Horde Pillager, which is the 4 mana. I don't remember. Is it a 4/2 or something like that? But what it does is it equips one of your dead weapons, and so you can get your Wrench Caliber back or your Ankar back. And so the bonus of shuffling bombs into your opponent's deck, aside from it being awesome, is that it screws up all of the Reno decks.
Yeah.
So, and especially at least where I've been, you see a lot of Reno priests lately, and this will mess them up pretty good. So I like it. I like the idea of it. It was 2 months ago. I think I hit Legend with Pirate Warrior, and it was, I mean, obviously it's a very strong deck, and this is pretty much that build with bombs mixed in. I think for me personally, I tend to get greedy and throw in like Dr. Boom or something like that, but it's not needed. Like the bulk of this deck is like 3 mana and under. Your Dread Corsair never costs 4 or very seldomly. It looks like you've got a couple Spellbreakers in here to get around Taunt.
Yep. Or just like if I face a Mech Paladin or something like that,
Yeah.
I like the Shark Fin fan. I love that card.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, wild card. Question for you. Typical Mike Lowe fashion, out of left field. How do you feel about Iron Juggernaut?
I love Iron Juggernaut. That's one of my favorite cards.
Yeah,
But
throwback. Love that card.
Yeah. No, I thought about putting that in here too, but I think I may have actually had it in here like early on when I was making this deck, but it's too slow. I don't think, and that's the thing. It's like Wild is so fast. It's like,
it costs 6.
even though a lot of my decks do have a lot of, I've had a lot of big stuff today. Reality is,
Iron Jug.
You stop at 6, you're good.
Yeah.
Iron Jug was my first Golden Legend that I pulled.
Oh,
Really?
what? That's dope.
I pulled the gold too.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, what? You,
It's so sick. Like the spinning blades.
yeah.
Yeah.
Spinning.
I unfortunately disenchanted it way back when, and I feel guilty about it now.
I'm checking to see if I still have mine right now.
Now I
You're
remember.
thinking of Sneeds, aren't you? You're not. Iron Juggernaut doesn't have a spinning. That's Sneeds.
No, it does.
Juggernaut.
Does it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Spinning blades. Okay.
Why are you running Bomb Wrangler? Is that a pirate? I don't think it's a pirate, is it?
No, it's not. No.
I mean, it's it's a really solid body. What is it? It's a 3/4 for 3.
Yeah,
And
that's
anytime it takes
literally the
damage.
reason I'm running it. It's kind of a sticky minion. It's kind of an awkward minion to play around. It's there's only one of them in there, but it's just I just wanted another 3-drop in there that could kind of, especially against aggro, it could be a little awkward to deal with. But it's not a crucial card. It's probably the least crucial of all the cards in that deck.
And you think Dr. Boom is too slow?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
I feel bad.
Game should be over by then. It really should be.
It should. I'm trying to look. I'm looking at this and seeing if I have any questions. I guess I should read the list for the people who are listening. 2 copies of N'Zoth's First Mate, Patches the Pirate, 2 copies of Sky Raider, 2 copies of South Sea Deckhand, 1 copy of Battle Rage, which I think is interesting for the draw. 2 copies. Two copies of Parachute Brigand, 2 Shark Fin Fans, 2 Ship's Cannon, OPOP, Inkar, 1 copy of Bloodsail Cultist, 1 copy of Bomb Wrangler, 2 copies of Clockwork Goblin, 1 copy of Skybarge, 2 copies of South Sea Captain, a Dread Corsair, 1 copy of Horde Pillager, 2 Spellbreakers, 2 Wrench Calibers, and at the top end 2 copies of Seaphorium Bomber. I like it. Now, let me tell you, from my perspective, one other problem with putting Iron Juggernaut in the list is that the bomb that it shuffles in is
it's not a bomb.
It's a 10. It's a mine, right? A 10 damage mine,
Right.
and so it doesn't have the correct synergy with the rest of the bombs in your deck. Like it's super dope, and I remember.
I think they should fix that.
That would be super cool.
Wait, what synergy are you talking about? I'm sorry. What
It doesn't. Iron Juggernaut doesn't shuffle a bomb into your deck. So we're talking about synergy, like with Dr. Boom or.
Okay. I got you.
Or something like that. That's like looking at bombs in your deck.
Dr. Boom at Genius, you mean? Okay, I was thinking the other Dr. Boom actually.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh yeah, okay.
The hero, because there's just 3 of them.
Yeah, the one that summons the boom bots, depending on how many bombs you have in your deck, it does not count mines.
Right.
And Iron Juggernaut shuffles in mines, not bombs.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Now, I remember way back when, there was, I think it was Control the Board of all people. It could have been somebody else, I don't remember, but there was some kind of crazy combo. And granted, this is probably 3 years ago or sometime before all these great cards came out. Maybe it was during League of Explorers, because there was some kind of OTK or very close to it combo where you would brand Iron Juggernaut and then like Cold Light Oracle or something like that. Where
Yes, I've done this.
Right. What is the combo?
I need to look it back up again. I only copied. I don't know who did it. It was Raffle or something, and I did it. I went on casual and I played it like maybe 5 times just to say I did it, and I did it, and that was it. So, refer to your local Raffle video.
Right. It was definitely super fun. I branch into Shuffle Bombs when Boomsday first came out. That was when these new bomb cards came out. Your Clockwork Goblin and Wrench Caliber, Sephorian Bomber, and the first deck that I made was a wild warrior deck with Bran, and it was Shuffle Bombs in. I had the Elec in the deck that, whenever you shuffle something in, shuffle extra copies in, and Cold Light Oracles, and I was just shuffling tons of bombs in and drawing the bombs. It was so much fun.
That's awesome.
It was competitive for about 30 minutes, and then everyone else stomped on me, but it was so much fun that I don't know. I love this type of stuff. I think that it's very easy to get caught up in what is tier 1, what is the best deck in the game currently. And when you start doing that, you lose some of the fun, if you will.
Yeah.
And the idea of hitting Legend with some kind of homebrew deck or with a tier 3, tier 4 deck or some deck that's not even on the tier list is it's awesome. I love it. So I don't know. I really enjoy the stuff that you brought tonight. I think is so much fun. So I would encourage people to try these out, watch you play them. I don't know. I mean, the whole 9, really.
Yeah. Well, and I guess I want to get into this deck a little bit too. Is and a lot of the problem is I was running into with just regular Pirate Warrior was that it lacked a little extra reach, or if you got cleared or something like that, or if you got your Wrench Caliber removed. I'm like, okay, well, if I stick minions in the deck, they can't remove the minions. They've already put. Obviously, it was playing against a lot of priests, but you can't. Once the minion's out, that bomb's in your deck. There's no removal of it. There's no anything. And Wrench Caliber comes back with the Horde Pillager, things like that. So there's that constant influx of 5 damage, 5 damage, 5 damage, and it's got that extra reach. And I'd actually thought of this deck. I want to say a couple expansions ago, and I don't know. Maybe I just didn't execute it well enough, or didn't have. Maybe there's a couple more cards in there like Skybarge that had come out since then that help it out. But
as long as you don't get what's it called, Rusty Hook back.
Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah. No, it has happened. Yep.
Oh, that's a
Good
good
call.
one. I didn't
That
think
is a good
about
call.
that, but yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to watch out for that for sure. Yeah. Thank you for reminding me that. So, but yeah,
Okay.
it just gives you a little extra reach. To finish off your opponent. If you have to. If you get your board cleared, because that's a lot of times that's the way Pirate Warrior loses. You put everything out there, and it's like it's gone. But if it's gone, there's still that your opponent has 10 life left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe you could stall out, and they can draw a couple bombs.
Armor up, stall out.
Yep. I'm great at stalling out games.
Oh, I remember when we have what's the brawl called where it's like arena, but you build the deck.
The Brawliseum, that one?
Brawliseum, yeah. So I made a Pirate Warrior. This is I don't know, 3 years ago when Brawliseum first started. I made a Pirate Warrior, and I meant to put in at the time it was an Arcanite Reaper, and I misclicked because it was in the 5 mana slot, and I clicked on Brawl, and I added a Brawl in my Pirate Warrior by accident. Guess what? Best tech card ever in Pirate Warrior in a Brawliseum.
What the heck?
It was so funny. I just destroyed because like it would come to the end where like I'd verse some sort of like control deck or something where they'd like end up like say killing everything I have. They build their board and brawl. Oh, my patches won. Sweet.
Yeah, it's so tempting to take that in the Pirate
They're
Warrior.
like brawl in a
Yeah.
Pirate Warrior. It was so funny. It was an accident too. It ended up working out pretty good. I think I got like 8 wins or 9 wins or something. I don't know. It wasn't amazing, but it was still pretty cool.
To ride your coattail in this Brawliseum talk, I think the last one was last August.
It's been a while, yeah.
Yeah, so it's last August. I just pulled it up on Hearthstone Top Decks, written by Stonekeep, August 7th. So prior to that, like, not that I never took Hearthstone serious, but I definitely leaned into just like logging in, doing quests, and then just having fun, just playing whatever. Because I knew I'd rank up playing meta decks, so I wasn't too stressed. But I remember after this one, I was waiting for the next one to come around, and like I really wanted to play in them, but I haven't seen one since because like I started playing this game way more serious since last summer, and like I've been waiting for a Brawliseum. Like I always make sure I have 500 gold just in case it pops up one day. You know, what I'm saying?
Dude, they could make that a new game mode. People would play it.
Oh, yo, woo.
Oh, I think you figured it out. Yeah.
Oh, snap.
Like just
You
throw
heard-
that right in the game.
Yep.
You heard it
Clip
here
that.
first,
Clip that.
It's like
right?
gambling. They give it the like high rewards,
bro. If
500 gold.
yo, you might be onto something. If they make that a game
Let's
mode,
go. 500
And
gold.
no, the
Let's
fact that it
gamble.
hasn't been out in a
Let's
while
gamble.
too.
yo,
There you go.
Conspiracy theories are starting right now. Let's go.
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, I've got one idea that I would love for you to brew sometime. I don't know that it's actually good, but I would love to see your take on I don't know. Way back when I started playing right around the time Nax came out, and then I remember when Blackrock Mountain came out and Warrior had a whole mess of cards that did stuff when you damage your own minion. So I mean there is some like that enrage mechanic. But also like Axe Flinger is one, and what is that legend called? The Bomb Tower, whatever it's called.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
the 3/8. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
If
so
there's right, any kind of damage it takes, it does 3 to the opponent or maybe opposing minion. I can't remember exactly.
so there's a bunch of stuff like that, right? And then you've got that like flinging saw blade, whatever it's called, that just bounces and does 1 damage to everything. And then
Bouncing blade.
yes, there you go.
Oh, Black Howl Gunspire.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike. Yeah.
And
Got
so
you.
you start bouncing blade on all your stuff, and you start axe flinging everywhere, and cannons going off everywhere. Like it is pure chaos. I high rolled with that like 4 years ago or something, and it was hilarious. I will not say that it's good, but God, I love the idea of just doing something so like wacky like that.
Hey, you know, one of my favorite decks that I played, and this was years ago, I made a random warrior deck. That deck lost, I probably won 30% of my games, but man, my face hurt from smiling. It really did. Like I had so much fun with that deck. But, you know,
That's
it's
awesome.
just, I was just finding my fun at the time, you know?
That's good.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
I was sad when they took away our enrage mechanic.
Yeah.
We're not smart enough to remember that keyword. We just have to know that when it's damaged, it does does something else.
Yet they add new keywords all the time. It's weird.
Oh well, gentlemen, we've been at this for about 2.5 hours, so I want to start wrapping up the show so that we still have some time to do some co-op afterwards. Unfortunately, friends, it is time to end this portion of things. So, hey, Mike, where can folks find you if they want to engage with you aside from the show?
All right, you guys can find me on Twitter and Twitch at MikeLowTV. I stream weekdays in the mornings. I post Tavern Brawl episodes on the Born to Be Wild YouTube page every Wednesday. 3 weeks in a row. Actually, no, I was gonna say 3 weeks in a row undefeated, but the second week I lost. That Valeria's bag of Burlet spells. It was crazy, man. But yeah, Michael TV.
Very, very cool. Hydralisk, where can people find you?
You can all find me on Twitter and Twitch at Hydralisk_HS.
Super cool. Wildcard, where can people find you?
Twitch is a good place. I am Wildcard Hearth. Wildcard Hearth.
The original, baby.
The original. Yeah. I try to be. I got in there early. But yeah, you can find me there. I do stream. I used to stream more often, but I've actually come back after a 1.5 year absence to every once in a while I'll pop in the stream, and I try to have fun. Usually it's just like I rather rank up and just do my thing. But like once I usually hit legend, then I like to just have fun with my decks and see how I do against legend players or whoever. But yeah, I'm Wildcard. Anyway, I'm Wildcard Hearthstone on Twitch. So just check Twitter. You'll see me post when I'm going live there, and I'm fairly active. I would like to get more active in Discords, but there's a lot of Discords out there, and it's hard to keep up. So
there's one best Discord.
Why don't you tell us about it there, Nate?
How was yours?
Yeah. So before, let me say for everyone listening or watching that I will add, we will add everybody's contact info in the show notes. So if you're trying to track us down, you can do it that way. Wildcard, thank you again so much for coming on, and thank you for all that you really do for the Wild community. I love seeing your decks. It's always it's always fun to see what you come up with, especially for me as a kind of non-deck builder. There's some really interesting ideas and synergies that we see. Also, thank you so much for helping with the store and getting all of our merch and stuff set up. I'm really excited about how that stuff came out, and so it's just very exciting.
Spangle tees.
Yo.
Yes, yeah, I should plug that. That's something I should plug as well.
Yeah, no, please do. Yeah, help yourself.
Spangle Custom Accessories.com. We work with Born to Be Wild to supply their merchandise. But yeah, my wife does do other merchandise as well outside of that. So you can check all that stuff out there and be appreciated. I thank you. So that's it.
Absolutely.
Check it out.
As far as me, you can find me on Twitter primarily at NateWolfTCG. It's NateWolfeTCG. Very active on there, probably more than I should be, but I'm very easy to reach that way if you're looking for it. As far as the show goes, the best way that you can track us down is through our website. It's borntobewildhs.com. We do have a very active Discord, which has been an absolute blast. Thank you to everyone that has joined. Big giant thank you to Mike Lowe, who got it all set up and fixed the Discord. We had kind of an old crappy Discord, and now we have like a really poppin' Discord, and we can fight with Mike. We can fight with Burnt for whose Discord is better now. All
right.
And so I think if you're looking for deck lists, if you're looking for content or looking for friends or whatever, it's been a pretty fun place.
It's a very positive place to be.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. It is. We do our best to stay drama free, and been having a blast over there. You can find all of our stuff. Again, the easiest place is just to go to the website, borntobewildhs.com. We've got links to the merch. We've got links to our different social medias, our Twitter. We've got all of our content is up on YouTube. So all of these episodes. We do parody songs. We do co-op gameplay, which has been a ton of fun to do, and all of that stuff is up on YouTube. So I hope that you enjoy it. I hope that you visit us and hang out with us. And one final piece of the show that we do as part of tradition is to ask you guys some advice here.
Unrelated advice. with Nate Wolf.
So completely unrelated, you guys. I have been having a difficult time coming up with ideas for parody songs lately. And so what I would like to ask from you is, what is your favorite album or a album, an artist and an album that you recommend that I listen to for some inspiration? So I'm going to start with you, Hydralisk. What is an album that I should listen to for some inspiration?
You know, you and I have talked about how Simplicity is pretty good. I feel like you need to pop on a greatest hits of CCR.
All right.
Right? You know, right? Like Proud Mary. Like, come on. There's a bunch of stuff in there.
All right. You're gonna have to hook me up then.
So you're unaware.
Oh,
You're
no.
not a CCR veteran.
I will admit I am unaware. You need to enlighten me.
Okay. Well, we're gonna work on that one.
I'm excited. I like learning new things. All right. We're gonna talk after the show. Mike Lowe, what do you think? Give me an artist or an album for some inspiration.
Oh, this one's a slam dunk. It's very easy because I hear this guy every day, and regardless of what song is on,
You can't say Craig of Canada.
Yo, how did you know? Craig of Canada is my local area. He's on the radio. But no, this guy I'm thinking of, he's he's worldwide. He's been around for 10, 11 years now. Every time I hear a song from him, he just released a new one last night, by the way. I already thought of a Hearthstone remix. The artist is Drake. Any Drake song I hear, I can literally think of Hearthstone lyrics, and it's just amazing.
Beautiful. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited. I'll check out the
Easily.
I'll check out the new single as well.
Yeah, I think it's called Baby. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's called Baby. Let me check it real quick. We'll talk after. But to answer your question, Drake.
Beautiful. All right, Wildcard, what do you think?
Well, none of the bands that I really like would work well for a parody song, because I grew up on like old indie and old punk music. So none of that.
Wait, hold on. How does that not work for a parody song?
Because nobody knows it, because they're like underground bands.
That's okay.
Like if you go to a karaoke bar or something, you're not going to sing you're not going to sing Nick Cave at a.
I like Nick Cave.
I love Nick Cave. My wedding was full of Nick Cave songs, but you're not going to sing that at like a karaoke night. So I think of that when I think of music like that or popular. I think of more popular music for doing a parody song, something that everyone knows. Like when I did the Twin Slice song, I don't give a crap about Vanilla Ice, but I sang an Ice Ice Baby song and realized that there were 4 verses to it. But I would say something popular like that, like maybe like a Billy Idol or something like that.
Oh, Billy Idol.
It's more popular. You're on the dance floor, and you're like, hey, I'm dancing, and you know what? I'm thinking about Hearthstone for a parody song.
That Twin Slice. I like that real quick. Sorry to jack it, but last night I pulled it up on YouTube. I like that song. I don't care. Yeah. It's cool. I like it a lot. Very creative. Twin Slice, baby. Yeah. Twin Slice, baby.
Oh, wiser words were never spoken, and you heard that on Born to Be Wild.